Hey James, how are you?
I'm doing
How
well.
are you? Doing good. We've been traveling a bunch and should get home tomorrow afternoon. So after several months in Canada.
Very
So
nice.
you
I'm doing well. So I'm
good,
just here at work. Nothing
good, good,
crazy.
good. Yeah. Did I tell you I went to Modernism Week this summer or is February?
No, I bet that was amazing.
Well, I used to produce that show, the Vintage Trailer Show. And
Yep.
so my friend Susan Taylor, Susan and Brad passed away last year. Um, I handed off the show to them, who handed it off to someone else when Brad got sick. Anyhow, I flew out or drove out and had a great time because I didn't have to work. I wasn't there for 12 hours a day waiting for someone to come back to park. And so it was super fun.
It's
I
pretty
might want
amazing
to do that
when you
again.
just go to an event. You don't have to
Right?
make everything happen. You get to enjoy it yourself.
Yeah,
So it's a
that's
good
exactly.
thing.
That's funny. And we saw the flight camp people and lots of other people that I hadn't seen in a long time. So
That's
that's
awesome.
good. Yeah. Yeah.
Millie, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
Good.
Looking through 8,000 pieces of paper in a different space, trying to get organized. Tim, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Do you feel kind of like my mom went on vacation and all I got was this lousy t-shirt?
Well, this will be my first meeting, so I was trying to gear up for it. So it should be a lot of fun.
It will be, and you'll do fine. You'll do fine. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Hey, Millie, Intech looks pretty quiet here.
I imagine it's mostly empty by now, everybody hitting the road.
Yeah, I think so. There's a new
Oh,
Stetson. The Zarangs bought a Stetson.
I know, they did that a few months ago. Is
Oh,
there, how long are you there for?
we're leaving right after the call. We've been here for a week. We're at Michael and Dana's place.
Okay.
So it's hot. 30 amps, so you can only run one AC, but it's hot. And it's going to be hot when we get home.
It is. I don't know how you stand it all the way down there, but you won't be home all summer.
Not most of it, but yeah, it'll be okay. The dogs miss us.
Dogs, plural?
Yeah, the place where we volunteer,
Oh, that's
the
right.
no kill pet shelter.
Okay. I thought you'd adopted a new friend for Izzy.
Oh, no, no, just easy. Hi, Tim.
Good morning. Yeah,
Morning.
it's supposed to be 103 out here today. It's supposed to be the hottest day for Texas so far.
Where are you?
So we're down in Bertram, down by Austin.
Okay, so we live in Mission.
Yeah, okay.
So it gets really hot there.
Yeah. I was
Oh,
surprised yesterday when I went outside. It was pretty toasty.
so I'm gonna squirrel real quick. Did you go to the Coda? Did you go and drive your trailer around the track with Greg Fegley and those guys? God,
Yes, we
then I
did.
can't.
That was a lot of fun.
I'm not going to be nice to you anymore. You didn't call and invite me.
Yeah, I tried to
That
reach out
was,
to everybody to let them know about the rally because it seemed
oh
like a lot of fun. And they're willing to
man,
have additional rallies there if anybody's interested. So
ah, Craig was on the Canadian Rockies caravan with us and told me about it, and it's just killing me. So someday maybe.
yeah, you heard the cars racing around the track all day, just doing laps. So it was kind of neat. And we were right on the straightaway, so they were just zipping past on that straightaway pretty good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Lori.
Morning. Always having trouble getting in. I had to reboot like 3 times. James, hello.
Hello, hello.
Morning. Millie, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, Tim. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
So as a bit of business advice for all of you, if you decide to purchase printer paper for your friend who's graciously letting you use her printer to print out all this stuff, check the quality of the paper when you buy it. I bought paper that is, it seemed like a good deal until I opened the package and it is paper thin. So trying to flip a page, it's hysterical.
No pun
See
intended,
me
paper
trying
thin.
to, oh, it is toilet paper thin. It's awful.
So that means it's sewer friendly.
It is sewer friendly, and that's where it's going when I'm done, right in the shredder.
One ply.
And you cannot, yeah, and you cannot double print on both sides. You'd be able to see right through it. Morning, Ken. Morning, Dendy. Who else is here? Bob Ely, good morning. Can't see you. There's David.
Good
Alan's
morning,
here.
Millie.
I have a technical request. Can someone, it made me come in through the web instead of the Zoom app. Does anyone know how to change the view for to see gallery on the app or on the URL instead of the app?
Upper right corner, there's like 9 dots right next to
Not
your.
in
Not on the
Not in the
not on the web.
Ah,
It's in a different place on the web, and I'm afraid I've only done it once, Lori, and I don't recall where it is. It might be a drop-down menu to choose your gallery view.
I'm trying to find, here it is. Thank you.
Got it?
Yeah, thanks.
Morning, Lori.
Morning.
John Holly, good morning.
Good morning.
Michael's here. Good morning, Michael.
Good evening.
James Shaw.
John Ollie.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. You're looking good.
Thank you. You too. Feeling good.
That's the most important part.
Yeah. Good morning.
Like, nobody's having trouble getting in so far. That's a very good sign. Morning, Patty.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Sean.
Good morning, Millie. Here is your namesake.
Hmm.
What did I miss?
This is Millie, your namesake.
Oh my goodness. Well, she looks far younger than I am. Very cool.
She likes camping.
Good, good.
John the Cat Man.
No, we just only have one cat.
Well, that's right. I hope so.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Hi, Sean.
Good morning.
Tim, nice to see you. Not used to seeing your face on
Thank you.
on the IBT call, so nice to see you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
In the Navy, when we used to say glad to be here, that meant something totally different.
Well, you know how it's meant, John.
Now, greetings from the Kentucky Horse Park in Lexington, Kentucky.
Oh, I like that park.
It's a beautiful place. And right down the road is the Old Friends Farm, which is a farm of retired thoroughbreds. And they're just beautiful, beautiful animals.
Give folks a few more minutes. Morning, Rachel. Morning, Chuck. Jan's here. Good morning, Jan. Ed.
Good morning.
Morning, Mike. Morning, Bill. Susan has joined us. Good morning, Susan. We are looking for Kendall.
And good morning, Chuck. Nice to see you also on the IBT call.
To be here, thanks.
Have we seen Susan?
Yeah.
Susan's here.
Kendall's the only one missing right now.
No, he's not.
Ah,
Oh,
there
there
he
it
is.
Yes, okay.
All right. All right, it's 9:59. We have, I think, everybody here. By the time we finish roll call, it'll be 10 o'clock, and that gives our members a chance to sign in. I'd like to call the July 22nd, 2026 meeting to order. Kendall, will you please call the roll?
First, President O'Donnell,
Present.
Vice President Hebner,
Present.
Secretary Felder, present. And the Councilmember Hamlin,
Present.
Executive Councilmember Jarrett,
Present.
Executive Councilmember Johansson,
Present.
Executive Councilmember Klingler,
Present.
Executive Councilmember Miller.
Here.
Executive Councilmember Shaw.
Happy to be here.
Alert from calendar. Rachel Collin Vaughn's 54th birthday.
Sorry, that's me.
Happy birthday.
Past President Watts,
Present.
Region 1 President Junta,
Present.
Region 2 President Galupo,
Here.
Region 3 President Ely,
Present.
Region 4 President Paspa,
Present.
Region 5 President Deegan,
Present.
Region 6 President Gully,
Present.
Region 7 President Olson,
Chuck Zellermeyer here in place of.
so Chris Olson is okay. Chuck
Done.
Zellmeyer's
Chuck
present.
is here for him.
Present.
Region 8 President O'Connor,
Present.
Region 9 President Elkins,
Tim Evers is here for Region 9.
Region 10 President McPhee,
Present.
Region 11 President Holly,
Present.
Region 12 President Bloom,
Present.
Parliamentarian Grassi,
Morning.
Finance Director Rab,
Here.
Executive Director Tilton,
Present.
Interim Technology Director Needham,
Mark is not in here yet.
okay, and Airstream Inc. Trustee Hanson. Madam President, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Next, on to the minutes. Do we have any corrections to the minutes or comments on the minutes? Nothing. I love it.
Good.
Okay, we accept the minutes stand as approved or as written. Good morning. Hopefully it is beautiful weather where you are. I am still in Upper Minnesota working on some trailer things and plotting some travel. All is going well. The smoke has cleared, hopefully for good, and our Canadian neighbors are getting their forest fires put out. We complain about the smoke, but they've got it far worse than we do. So we're hopeful that that gets squared away for them and that all our travels, hopefully to Minot and beyond, are safe. Just wanted to give a little update on back at the ranch stuff at HQ. Lori and the team have been working to get things squared away so we can start putting the fence up that we need. We still have plans to upgrade the old building so that we can get all of our beautiful historical things in place safely there and have a nice place to visit them and add to them, hopefully in the future. The fence will go up next, and then we're going to continue working on the brick program. I have not so secretly asked James to look into that. He and I are working on figuring out what the next steps are. We have lots of folks have committed to the bricks. Hopefully we'll get lots more, and we'll have a beautiful pathway for folks very soon and on into the future to check out. And it's a great fundraiser for the building. Other than that, I don't have too much. Lori, would you do your executive director report, please?
Absolutely. Thanks, Millie. I filed my report. It's in the book. Just couple little updates. I was excited to learn that, we've been invited back to Hershey, thanks to Bill and Cody and Matt, the awesome job, and Patty they did last year. So we'll be going back. I was actually invited through Airstream Inc. So that says a lot about our crew. So super excited. Bill's gonna spearhead that for us again this year. So excited for that. And just a few little updates. Why not? Of course, we're just a couple weeks away. We are still having people register, which is exciting. So we will be there. And then I believe most of you all know that June 24th, we launched Rock Springs, and we already have 573 members registered for 2027. And I don't say we haven't done anything. We've done a lot, but there's been no major promotions or stuff. So excited about that. So those are about the only updates I have right now, Millie.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And I did neglect to mention that Lori and I had the chance to go to Sandy, Utah last month for the dealer meeting with Airstream. And that was eye-opening. It was my first event of that sort. I was surprised to figure out how many dealers I already knew, which was nice, and met so many other dealers and vendors there, some that we'll see in Minot and in other locations. We met the new Arkansas dealer, David, and his family. They were super nice. It was nice chatting with them. But overall, it was a terrific event. It was really a blessing to be invited, and hopefully that will continue. Okay, next on the agenda, we have Alan. When he's ready.
Nope, just took myself off of mute. So let me share my screen and let's go through this deck. Okay, tell me when can you see the financial deck?
Not yet.
I'm working two screens. I want to make sure you're seeing that one. So
Not yet.
oh, you don't?
No screen yet.
Try it one more time. Share. How about now?
There it is. There it is.
Okay, I'm putting you all over on this other screen over here so I can see you at the same time. All right, guys, let me walk through this. It's bit of an anemic deck. There are a couple things I do want to point out. So first, forward-looking statements. I will talk, as I do every quarter, about anticipation and where I think we're going to end up the year. And that's, those are all forecasts and estimates. So I just give you the cautionary note that when I talk about forecasting, it's not an exact science. A few things to cover are MD&A, which we do every quarter, our financial statement update, the reserve schedule and mortgage, to give that update like I do. The financial reporting packages, excuse me. After the last quarter, some more people submitted the packages. We've now closed everything down, so I'll give you an update on where we finished for the 2025 year. Dues increase for 2027, and then support schedules. As a note, before I get into this, no one has submitted questions to me prior to the board meeting. So last quarter, I put those up and answered those, not only them to those people directly, but also in this form as well. But I have received no advanced questions in advance of this meeting. So, okay, MD&A. As you might imagine, legal spending right now is clouding our numbers. Year-to-date legal expenses are at $82,000. That's actually excuse me. It's actually 92,000 as of this morning. So I got another bill for 10 grand. So it's 92,000 on our budget of 4,500. It will continue to increase as long as there's pending litigation out there. I'll continue to deplete our reserve in order to cover these expenses. It's the only place we have to get any money. And I'll take those from the operational reserves. And it's important to note, without the year-to-date expenses from the legal spending standpoint, we're on our original plan for the year, almost in every single category. So we're in good shape from the core club. Dues increase. I'll go through the detail. It has, excuse me, it has been modified just a little bit. I did hear from Joe Poplinski that some of my dues numbers, historical dues numbers, were not reflected in the proper year. So I've updated it based upon Joe's input. So he and I are now in sync, but I am not recommending that we take a dues increase next year. There is a big but in there, and I'll get into that when I get into the deck. And then the reserves, we got 471,000. It's a decrease of 35. I'll go through that detail in a minute. We do have still $100,000 of reserve contributions for the year planned. We have deposited half of that so far into our accounts. We will continue to deplete the operational reserve with the pending litigation until that's gone, and then I'll move to the capital reserve next, and then the IT reserve last for the funds that we need. And we can talk about what it means when that's empty as we get towards the Q&A portion. All right, let's go through the P&L. The P&L. Now, again, to set this chart for you, my categories are on here on the left. Actuals for 2025 are right here. So members, we had 10,287 members. Through Q2, we have 10,454 members on a plan of 10,497. So we're only about 40 members shy of hitting our budget for the year. That was a planned increase of about 2%. From a revenue and income standpoint, we're at 68% of our plan for the year. Our plan's $1.1 million. We've collected 810,000. I did a little analytics over here in the comment section. So let me explain that to you. Last year, we were at 84% of the budget. This year, we're at 68% of the budget. We're behind a little bit. this misspelled word guaranteed here, Lori Grassi. I know you probably caught that. We do have $87,000 that will be coming in from the rest of the international rally and the caravan administrative fees. Those will come into our income, so we know that for a fact, which will leave us about $296,000 to go to hit our plan. 212,000 of that's renewals. I thought it was important that y'all knew our new members are at 60% of our budget. So we set a budget for the year for how much revenue we're going to take in for new members. We're at 60% of that number now, and we're halfway through the year. So not a bad place to be. Our Explorer program, we're currently at 38% of that budget for the full year. Lifetime members were at 50% of the budget that we established, and members at large, we've exceeded our budget of 100. What we had, we're 142% of our budget, indicating that more of our members that are joining joining as members at large rather than choosing a club. Our renewals are at 73% of our budget, and like I said, we've got about $200,000 to go. Let's move down to headquarters. We're at 57% of our plan, a little bit over. The reason for that is building maintenance, technical support, taxes, and software subscriptions that we paid for the full year. If you back out the taxes and software subscriptions for the full year, we're on our plan. So said differently is when I pay my software subscriptions, I pay those all. So if a subscription is $10,000 for the year, I'll pay that at one time. And that'll hit my budget. It'll skew what my year-to-date actual results look like. They'll actually be higher. When I get towards the end of the year, that will normalize over the full 12 months. But if you back out our taxes and our software subscriptions for the full year, we are actually on our plan through June of this year. Here's the legal costs again. That's $92,000, like I mentioned earlier, on a budget of about $4,500. With legal and prorated insurance. If you were to take out, we've paid our full year insurance as well, but if you took the legal expenses out and you prorated out half a year's insurance, we're actually below plan on our general club expenses this year. So I just want to make sure I continue to point that out, that the legal expenses are, and some of these annual renewals are fogging the numbers, if you will. Down here at the total level, without legal, prorated, software, and insurance, we're at 48%. This says 58%, but if you take out those items I just mentioned, we'd be at 48%. This reflects a $100,000 loss for the year on our plan. It's because we're contributing $100,000 into our reserves. So that's where we are from the P&L standpoint. From the reserve, so same chart that I show you every quarter. Here's Q1. I've kept 24, 25, and 26 contributions in there. You can see in 24, we contributed 245,000, 235 in 25, 25,000 in first quarter, 25,000 in second quarter. But as you recall, last IBT meeting, I told you I needed to withdraw $60,000 to pay the legal expenses I was incurring. We have done that. So that has shrunk our operational budget down to $117,000, or 47% of what our plan was, of 250 up here on the top. I will need to take another 25,000. That is April, May, and June's bills for legal. It was $25,137. So I'll be withdrawing 25,000 out of our operational reserve in third quarter to make sure that our accounts are flush with money to be able to make sure that our bills are paid as appropriate. Mortgage, not a lot of news on the mortgage. We haven't paid any additional principal on there, given everything I've just mentioned, but we paid about $8,000 so far year to date. We're at about $315,000. We've got about 66% of the budget left on a $476,000 budget. All right, let me move into the annual club and region financial reporting summary. Last quarter, I told you that in 2024, this is the year-end financial reports that clubs report into headquarters and myself. 2024, we had 15 of the 105 clubs that reported and no regions. In 2025, when I talked to you last time, we had 40 of the 107 clubs in 5 of the 12 regions. That was as of first quarter. As of second quarter, 9 more clubs reported, and we had 50% reporting for 2026, up from 14%. So significantly better. I think we're doing fantastic. Obviously, the goal here is to get to 100% of the financial reporting. So we'll continue to work on that as we move into next year. Here it is by region. So you can see it. This one on the left are the clubs by region. Okay, 107 clubs, 41% had reported, 59% had not. Here it is over here, same 107 clubs were at a 50-50. And these numbers over here, you can see we had 1 club in region 4 one in Region 7, and you can read the rest on your own. So 9 extra clubs. So that's where we are on that. All right, dues increase. So I had committed to you, first bullet point, to evaluate club dues every 2 to 3 years when we took the dues increase in 2025. So this is a little later than I would have liked to have done it. I will be coming to you in the spring of next year, and I'll come to that in just a minute. So the table to the right, I've updated with the most current inflation number. So down here in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see the inflation for 25 was 2.7. I had 2.2 in here for 26 last quarter. The new inflation estimate is now 4% for the year for 2026. And the estimates I had for these out years was 2.2%. The government has revised their inflation estimates on that to 2.4%. So I have updated all of that. And you can see here by this orange that when we hit the orange in 2028, we will be at the same level that we are for dues. So $99, and we'll be at $99. If we do not take a dues increase in 28, we'll fall behind again in 2029, which I don't think we should do. We're moving into our third year of a balanced, again, another misspelled word. I'm an accountant, not a English major. With a balanced budget, 3 years of reserves, contributions, and mortgage reduction. So in red, I'm recommending that no dues increase occur in 2027, given that our normal club operations are operating effectively. If I were to take a dues increase, it would, which is really, well, I'll come to that in a second. So I'll come to the IBT in the spring of 27, so in our April meeting, with a recommendation for a dues increase in 2028. That, you can count on that. That's going to happen. I'm going to come with a motion to increase dues from $99 likely to $105. So I'll take them up $6 a year. I still have to do the analytics. We still have to look at the inflation numbers. We still have to look at the health of the club, all of that. But just I'm giving you a heads up that spring of 28, I will be coming with a recommendation for a dues increase. We do have 3 options to go forward. So as I come and look at the health of the club, and I've talked about the legal dues, or the legal fees rather, our reserves are going to deplete rather rapidly at the rate we're going. And there's really 3 options going forward if our reserves continue to deplete. We can take an off-cycle dues, really 4 options. We can take an off-cycle dues increase, which isn't really going to do us a lot of good because our dues increases go out in September. So we'd have to make a decision today to take that dues increase, which I'm not prepared to do. Second is we can do, when we take the dues increase next year, we can double it. We can take it from $99 to $200, right? Because you're going to need money to pay these legal bills. Now, I don't think that's pragmatic, but that's another, I mean, that's how serious I think these legal bills are hitting us at this point. Or third, what we could do is we could do an assessment. We can go to our members, and we got 10,000 members, and we could assess them $100 a piece. That could generate some money in order to help with our legal bills as well. I don't know how well that would go over with our membership, but that's an option. Or last, I mean, if we don't do something to mitigate the legal expenses, this club we won't be in business in another year and a half. So we're going to be in trouble. I'm just telling you, when I first entered into this role 2 years ago, the club was in trouble and we were losing money every year and our reserves were depleting very rapidly. We're making our budgets every year, but our reserves are depleting at a very rapid rate, and it's concerning. And I'm just giving you a heads up now that we're going to have to do something about it. Let me see what else I've got for you, and then I'll stop for questions. That's it. So that on that happy note, that's all I've got. So open up for any questions anybody's got.
John Hawley?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Alan. I thank you very much. I appreciate the report. It's very thorough. I guess hypothetically, I need to question you about what do you think will happen? You've touched on it a little bit, but if the legal expenses continue to increase to a tremendous amount, where is that going to put us? How much time do we have, and what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, so right now our legal expenses, they were running about $8,000 a month. Now they're running closer to $10,000 a month. If those continue to increase, which I imagine they will, given the current state of where the litigation sits and the activity from our lawyers and the number of conversations that are occurring and the billable hours at almost $500 an hour. I suspect if it increases to $20,000 a month, just as for instance, we'd be out of money in about a year and a half. So by the end of 2027, we'd be out of money. And then we'd be an insolvent club at that point. So,
Oh, boy. Thank you.
yep.
Alan, I have a question on
Yes.
the club reporting portion of your report.
Yes.
You've had good increases from 24 to 25 and into 26. What do we have in place to increase that? Are you reaching out to the region presidents to have them talk to their local clubs? What are we doing to get everybody to pay closer attention to the priorities there?
Yeah, you talking about for the annual reporting, Millie?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I was going to do this year, and I didn't do it. So it's just something I didn't do. So slap my hand for it. Is I was going to have each of the finance committee members take a couple of regions and then go out and reach out to the region presidents, the region treasurers, and the club treasurers to talk about the importance of the reporting, help them with the reporting if that's what they needed to do. And I didn't do that this year. So we will do that as it goes in for 2026 reporting. We will take that and parse that out among the finance committee members, and we'll take a couple of regions and then make the phone calls to make sure we get the reporting in.
Okay, thank you. And since we just happen to have the region presidents here, for the most part, message received. We can all work on that together and maybe make 2026 pretty spectacular by the end of the year. Any other questions for Alan? Okay, thank you, Alan, very much. Thorough as always. We have no consent items on the agenda, so I'm going to move to new business, beginning with motion 2026-15. Is Joe here?
Joe, he is here. We're trying to promote him. So when the screen pops up, if he can accept that, then he will come on camera and audio.
Beautiful. And while we're waiting for that, I did not mean to skip over
Public.
correspondence. Lori, I'm assuming you didn't have any correspondence. You would have brought that to us. Okay.
I'm here. I don't know why my video's not showing, but I'm here.
That's okay. We can hear you, Joe. Will you go ahead and make your motion, please?
Okay. My motion's titled Remove Heritage Number 348. You want me to read the summary and the motion?
Just read the title on the motion for now.
Okay. Remove Heritage Number 348. Or sorry, 384, excuse me.
Okay, so the Historical Standing Committee moves that the table of approved heritage numbers in policy 16.6.10 Airstream numbers subsection E2 be amended to remove number 384 as stated in Exhibit 1. This motion comes from the Historical Standing Committee and does not need a second. Joe, will you please speak to your motion?
Okay.
Joe, would you start by reading the actual motion? Because you only read the title and not the motion itself.
Okay. The motion. I move that the table of approved heritage numbers in policy 16.6.10 Airstream numbers subsection E2 be amended to remove 348 as stated in Exhibit 1.
And since Millie already read it, it is now in the hands of the presiding officer.
Right. So, does anyone have any questions for Joe? Isn't that grand? Everybody understood it and read it, and we're ready to rock and roll. Well done,
Okay.
Joe.
Just a clarification, is this 384 or 348? Millie, you're saying one number and Joe is saying a different number.
As written, it's 384. Is that correct, Joe?
Yes, I accidentally said 348, but it is 384.
Okay.
May I just compliment the sleuthing that was done to identify that a picture corrected the type of trailer? So well done.
As always. Thank you, Joe. No debate on it? Okay. Thank you, Joe. That motion passes. Next, we have motion 2026-17. The meeting book included in the motion didn't reflect proposed changes in Exhibit 1 because of a document conversion issue, a computer thing. So that glitch meant some of the stuff wasn't highlighted and read properly. Some of the IBT members were sent a corrected version. Rachel, do I understand you don't intend to bring the motion forward today? Do you want to make a brief statement on that?
I would, thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to first inform the board that the policy section that this motion covers regarding special interest groups, it has come to our attention based on extensive feedback from a couple of areas, the full-timers pilot SIG, other potential petitioners for SIGs, as well as other trustees and discussions on the EC, that there are additional changes and revamps that need to happen to this policy section. I ask that all of you who know this and any members listening or any region presidents, members, if you've got feedback, Cody, Bill, and myself are currently working on it. So please send further feedback our way. That's what kind of brought this on in the first place. So as a result of that, it seems redundant to use this motion right now when we're anticipating by next meeting we'll have a new motion for this policy. So I would like to withdraw motion 2026-17.
Okay, thank you. Since the motion hasn't been introduced and there's no motion before the board, I assume we will see it soon. We're going to proceed to 2026-18. Motion 2026-18. Okay, this meeting book also included, it didn't reflect the proposed changes in Exhibit 1 due to the conversion issue. No, that was Rachel, sorry.
It applies to this motion as well, but
It does,
everybody,
okay.
the meeting,
But everybody's received the correction.
yes.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, 2026-18, sorry about that. It was a brain fault there. Rachel, will you please read this motion?
Thank you. I move to amend Blue Book Policy 16.6.6 Section C by striking fourth quarter and inserting second quarter regarding the submission timing for the state of the intra-club reports as stated in Exhibit 1.
Okay. EC member Miller moves Blue Book Policy 16.66 Section C, striking fourth quarter and inserting second quarter regarding the submission timing for state of the interclub reports as stated in Exhibit 1, not being a motion from a standing committee. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, Cody seconds. And Rachel, will you please speak to your motion?
Sure. So, thank you, Madam President. This motion resolves a long-standing point of confusion for our intra-club leaders. And this comes from conversations I've had with several of them. This also is a result of, if you all recall, I did mention this forthcoming in our last IBT meeting, as well as sent emails on the drafts of this motion to you all. By shifting this deadline to the second quarter, we're aligning the submission with the standard biannual reporting schedules, as well as allowing intra-clubs to simply attach their existing financial reports that are due to the financial committee within 60 days of December 31st. So it streamlines administration, gives leadership earlier visibility into club trends, and directly supports the volunteers by reducing redundant paperwork.
And is there a financial impact?
There is no financial impact, and there is no known IT impact after I discussed it with both Mark and Alan.
Perfect. Any questions for the motion maker? Beautiful. Kendall, will you call the roll?
Region 1 President Junta.
Yes.
Region 10 President McPhee.
You're
Region 10
muted, Susan. See there. Yes.
Region 12 President Bloom.
Yes.
Region 3 President Ely.
Yes.
Region 4 President Pacifa.
Yes.
Is that Councilmember Miller?
Yes.
Region 2 President Galupo.
Yes.
Is that Councilmember Klingler?
Yes.
Secretary Felder, yes. Region 11 President Holly,
Yes.
Vice President Hebner,
Yes.
Executive Councilmember Shaw,
Yes.
Region 8 President O'Connor,
Yes.
Executive Councilmember Jarrett,
Yes.
Region 5 President Deegan,
Yes.
Region 6 President Gully,
Yes.
Region 7 Vice President Zellmeyer,
Yes.
Executive Council Member Hamlin,
Yes.
Vice Region 9 Second President Ebers,
Yes.
Executive Councilmember Johansson,
Yes.
Madam President, the yeas are 20, the nays are 0.
Kendall, you didn't call Mona.
Oh.
Again.
Again.
Yes.
Again. Past President Watts.
Yes.
I started doing it and then I jumped over you.
Okay,
Wouldn't there be
very
Move to
good. The
22.
motion is adopted. Rachel, good work. Next, we have motion 2026-22. Jim, will you please read your motion? Is Jim in the
Yes.
house? He's there.
Yeah, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. This motion, I'm sorry, I move to rename policy 16.6.9 flags and pennants to policy 16.6.9 flags, pennants, and logos, and to amend this policy to include all flags, pennants, and logos for use in or by any entity or event as stated in Exhibit 1.
Okay, Constitution and Bylaws Standing Committee moves to rename policy 1669 flags, pennants to policy 1669 flags, pennants, and logos, and to amend the policy to include flags, pennants, and logos for use in or by any entity or event as stated in the Exhibit 1. This motion does come from a Constitution and Bylaws Standing Committee and does not need a second. Jim, will you please speak to your motion?
Yes, thank you. The requirement is not essentially a new one. It's already very important that all of our entities subscribe to the requirements of the sublicensure agreement that we have so that we protect our use of the Airstream likeness and title, et cetera. If we don't do that, we risk losing that very important benefit. I've heard some really good input from some of y'all. Thank you about this. And let me address real quickly that, yes, this seems to add a hurdle for people that want to create as one of our standing committee chairs said, we want to create a sticker for an event, and now we have to go get approval. Well, that approval, if you get it from the EC, if you petition the EC, can be pretty readily granted. I served on our executive council, or formerly known executive committee, for 8 years. I have served this committee for another couple of years. I know that the executive council is very responsive and can get things passed pretty readily. So with that said, this just keeps the requirements we already have, but it extends those requirements so that we are covering all entities, not just intra-clubs and local clubs the way it's currently written. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Jim. Any questions for Jim? Mike Pasfa?
So I'm just going to ask this again. If I host a rally in Region 4, pick a club, and I want to have stickers because I like stickers on my door, I got to get approval to have a sticker for a event that is local club, not region, not for a club logo, but for the said event that maybe 10 trailers go to. I just want clarification. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. I answered your email this morning before this meeting, and the answer is yes, that's the intent here, because we are all, our entire club is at risk for losing the use of the Airstream likeness and name if we don't adhere to our sublicensure agreement. It covers every entity. It is, yes, it covers local clubs as well. I don't see how it could be clearer, but I'm a little black and white about these things, I realize. Thank you.
I think if I could interject, I'm curious. I have attended a couple of rallies where we had a decal for your car or your brag board that didn't have the club logo or the word Airstream in it. It might have said, like, for example, during 2020, we did something called the Raise Your Spirits rally, and we had a little thing that said Raise Your Spirits. If it's not going to include the club logo or the Airstream name, would that be an exception to that, Jim? That they could make a little sticker for the event?
I would be very happy to accept an amendment stating that logos and decals that do not include the Airstream name or logo would be accepted from this procedure.
There you go. Is that something you would be interested in doing, Mike? Hang
Let
on,
me
hang
finish
on,
that and I'll, Millie,
hang
let me
on,
finish your thinking. Yeah.
hang on, Michael Genta. I was looking for Mike Pasva to respond to that.
Yeah, I honestly have, so from a lot of feedback from my club, that's in the end who I represent, that we like stickers and we like Airstream. And I mean, there's a watch out there right now, Airstream name on it. I don't know if that's Airstream okayed or approved, but I don't like the sticker thing. I'm just gonna tell you that I'm getting a lot of pushback from that because our club likes it. So we would like the Airstream.
Okay. All right. And just so you know, Mike, we're having a little trouble hearing you. There may be something going on with your speakers. I'm not sure if it's just me, but you're sounding very muted. You want to check on that? Michael Genta.
I would feel, Jim, I'd feel a lot more comfortable with this if we got a letter or an email or something from Airstream Inc. on the sub-licensure agreement of guidelines of what we can and cannot do. It makes me a little uncomfortable to kind of put out a blanket motion without their direct input. I respect their sub-licensure agreement. I think it's important. I think we need to honor it. I would really love to see some input of them of guidelines before we say that one thing is acceptable or not. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. I believe the
I'll address
actual,
Michael's comment after we hear from John, okay? Thank you.
I was just going to say, I believe that the actual sub-licensure agreement itself states what the policy is and what their wishes are, and we follow that to the letter of the law. John Deegan.
Yes, and good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to see something in the policy that would indicate how much time is needed by the appropriate approving committees for approval of a sticker or a logo, so we don't get hit with a last minute type of a request.
Understood. Certainly what we've done in the past, Jim can correct me if I'm wrong, when we've had approvals of things like a logo or a flag, we do the electronic voting and it goes very quickly. It doesn't get dragged out. It's not a long process at all. Jim, do you want to speak to that? Jim?
Yeah. So first I'll address Michael Genta's very good comment. You're right, Michael. We want to make sure we're doing this in an informed way. We are saying that what I'm suggesting to accept as a amendment to this motion is that we would exclude from the approval process any decals or logos that do not contain the image of an Airstream or the name Airstream in them, that completely removes it from the very full sub-licensure agreement that we already have. That agreement is already very well fleshed out and complete. So if we accept an amendment to this motion that we're excluding from the approval process items that do not contain that likeness or the name, then we aren't subject to the licensure agreement for that issue. I have already confirmation from Ms. Tilton on this issue. And as far as the time frame, Millie, you're right. We're a volunteer club, but we can get things like this done. Our executive council can get things like this done pretty readily. Thank you. I stand down.
David Gully?
Yes, ma'am. A quick question for Jim. We've been working on our logos for our rally coming up, and I've already done the one for next year. And we went online and bought an image of an Airstream from one of the services. Would that count against what we're saying, the license agreement? If it's a image of an Airstream, a line art that we purchased.
No matter
May I refer that one to Mrs. Tilton, who is the best manager of our sub-licensure agreement? Lori, or you'll do that, won't you?
Yeah, if I would say it depends on if that whoever you bought it from has the license agreement with Airstream Inc. So
Okay.
if they have an agreement with Airstream Inc. and Molly's on the call and I see you shaking your head, Molly, correct me if I'm wrong. If they have the rights to do that through Airstream Inc., it's fine for us to purchase, right? Then it kind of trickles down. If they are not in a line with Airstream Inc., then no, it would not be usable.
If I can tag onto that real quickly, please. We had a club present a logo for approval. We were on the verge of presenting it to the IBT for approval, and they came back and they said, time out. We're sorry. We realized that logo was not legitimate. Somebody had downloaded it and presented that as original work, and it was not. And so, to Lori's point, if you don't know that the source you're getting it from is bona fide and has the rights to it, then you might be better off going through the approval process. Thank you. I stand down.
Thank you. John Deegan?
Besides the name Airstream Inc., we probably need to be cognizant of any trademarks that Airstream Inc. uses. Those would probably need to be included in this.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. Thank you. David Gully?
Yeah, how does this apply? And I haven't, and I wouldn't even know how to do this, but I see a lot of the local and intra clubs and sub clubs using all this new AI generated Airstreams that, the doors are wrong, the windows are wrong. Joe has a fit every time he sees one. But, that seems to be readily available. And I see more, even on social media, these AI generated. How about the clubs using that kind of stuff?
Thank you, David. The problem with that is exactly what you stated. You don't know where the items come from. AI frequently puts 2 air conditioners on a Bambi and 1 axle on a 34-footer. They really don't know Airstream. And so, again, that speaks to being very, very cautious where our clubs and our groups get their information from. Molly Hanson, good morning and welcome.
Hi, everybody. I was thinking while you guys were all saying this, I know in the agreement, it does say that anything with our name or likeness needs to be approved. That's always been the case. That is with all licensees. So I'm not sure if that answers the question about a letter from Airstream. I will say there's a possibility that we could share with the club approved art and or photographs that they could use. So people have something to use. That might be a solution where it's pre-approved line art and or photographs that we do. To answer David Gully's question, AI is something that's making our IP lawyers crazy at the moment. But we will find a way to police that. We actually have services that go out and pull every time Airstream an image and or the name is used. Most of that time is most of the priority there is for counterfeit Airstreams that we're trying to shut down. But we do have, there's lots of groups, frankly, that are not in compliant, that are on Facebook because they use our name. So we have to pick and choose. It's a lengthy process, an expensive process to go after everybody. But I would say if there's a way that we could have the club in compliance as much as possible, and we can share art, and that speeds up the process, we will do that.
Oh,
Thank you very much. Lori?
Thank you, Millie. Yeah, just to add on to that, I know, I don't remember what month, but Sherry sent out an article about AI, because we've seen several groups will use an AI generated ad to put on Facebook, and like they have our name and the Airstream flag and stuff. And so when we see that, we ask those clubs to remove that from social, because we know it's against the sub licensure. So I'd be happy to share that article that Sherry wrote with the team if you haven't seen it already.
And that also speaks to the fact that with this group of leaders here in the room today, it does behoove you to keep an eye on those things. If you're aware of a club or a group misusing the name, the logos, anything including that, reach out to them and let them know that they need to stop. Rachel Miller.
Thank you. Just David Galisa comments got me thinking, is there a place, and it doesn't really look like it's appropriate for this section, but for maybe in under our, instructions on images and color use and brand strategy, that whomever is creating things uses due diligence on purchased images, and then eventually possibly policy on AI images. That was just the thought that I had, because I think those are really important points. Thank you.
Exactly. Absolutely. Molly.
Yeah, just to relieve some of the pressure here, I would say that unless Airstream is represented in a way that's defamatory and or damaging to the brand, it's going to get approved. It's not, I have very rarely not approved things, and they're usually when somebody is used, and you're not making money off of it. That's really the trick. If you're making money off our likeness or our logo, that's when the lawyers get involved. If it's just a happy picture of an Airstream, as long as it's not you're not towing it with a bicycle or something. Well, maybe that's not a good example because we have done that, but as long as it's not dangerous, it puts it in a liability situation but fun little stickers, I can't imagine that they wouldn't get approved. And I don't think that this is as big a deal.
Thank you very much. We do have one question from the write-in questions. Jim, what about logos and flags, et cetera, that have already been out there in use? Would they be grandfathered, or are you going back and looking?
Okay, first, I'm a policy writer, a policy provider, as my committee is. We're not enforcers. That's the IBT's job. If the IBT thinks that we need to go back and review all this stuff, good luck, but that's not my job. That's one. Two, this has always provided that anything that was in use prior to January 17, 1997 is grandfathered. I know that might not cover a lot of ground, but that does talk about old things.
Okay, thank you. All right, if we don't have any more questions, Kendall, if you'll call the roll. Did we lose Kendall?
No, I can't get my mouse to move to my unmute button. Okay. Sorry about that. Past President Watts?
Yes.
Second Councilmember Johansson?
No.
Region 7 Vice President Zellmeyer,
Yes.
Region 6 President Gully,
You're muted, David.
you mute.
I would say no is red, but if he's willing to do the amendment, he will.
You can't
Okay.
comment on a vote. It's just a
No
yes or
problem. No, ma'am.
Executive Councilmember Jarrett,
Yes.
Executive Councilmember Shaw,
Yes.
Region 5 President Deegan,
Yes.
Region 3 President Ely,
Yes.
Vice President Hebner,
Yes.
Region 11 President Holly,
Yes.
Secretary Felder, yes. Executive Councilmember Hamlin,
Yes.
Region 1 President Junta, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
No, Kendall.
No.
Thank you.
Okay. Region 8 President O'Connor,
Yes.
Region 4 President Pasfa,
No.
Executive Councilmember Klingler,
Yes.
Region 2 President Galupo,
Yes.
Executive Councilmember Miller,
I actually need to raise a point of order. Are we voting on as amended
We're
or
voting
as
on-
originally stated?
As originally stated.
Okay. No.
Region 12 President Bloom,
Yes.
Region 10 President McPhee,
Yes.
Region 9 Second Vice President Evers,
No.
I apologize, I'm missing someone from my list. Who did I not call? Okay. I have a count of, I'm sorry, say again?
I was just asking if you got everybody.
No.
No, I do not. I'm missing one person. I'm trying to figure out who I neglected to call.
Who didn't vote?
I did not hear Rachel Miller's vote.
She voted no.
She voted no.
Okay, thank you. Hebner, did you call Hebner? She's not
I
on my
did.
list. I'm having bandwidth issues. How did you vote, Jan?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Kendall,
So
did
maybe
you vote yourself?
I did.
Just clarifying.
So I count
out of
21.
Okay, so then I have 16 in the nay column and then 15 in the yay column.
Okay, and the motion is adopted. Thank you, Kendall. Next in line, we have motion 2026-20. EC Member Klinger, will you please introduce your motion?
I move to delete policy 16.6.12, window signs, executive council and region officers, to eliminate the statement that each incoming member of the IBT and the region's new vice president shall receive a window sign displaying their title from HQ.
EC Member Klinger moves to delete policy 16.6.12, window signs, executive council and region officers, to eliminate the statement of each incoming member of the IBT and the region's new vice president shall receive a window sign displaying their title from HQ. Is there a second to this motion? Sean?
Sean Razor.
We have a second from Sean Bloom. Okay. Cody, will you please speak to your motion? Read your purpose and background.
Yes. Yeah, so this would eliminate the motion in its entirety as it is outdated requirement and the expenses for providing the window signs to IBT members and region presidents and vice presidents. Sorry.
You said it would eliminate the motion. You meant it would eliminate.
I'm sorry, the policy. My
policy.
my apologies.
Okay.
Thank you.
We don't want to scare people.
The headquarters has not been providing these window signs for several years, and prior to 2022, the club had ordered and paid for all new trustees and region vice presidents to have a 12x6 sign to place in the window of their Airstream recreational vehicle. The signs have become rarely utilized by trustees and region vice presidents in the last 6 years. The financial impact to this would be a savings of approximately $1,000 per year based on 18 signs at $45 roughly on even years, and then 24 signs at roughly $45 on odd years. And there is no IT impact.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for the motion maker? All right, with no questions, Kendall, will you call the roll?
Region 4 President Pasfa,
Yes.
Region 11 President Holly,
Yes.
Executive Councilmember Johansson,
Yes.
Executive Councilmember Miller,
Yes.
Past President Watts,
Yes.
Executive Councilmember Klingler,
Yes.
Executive Councilmember Schral,
Yes.
Secretary Felder, yes. Region 10 President McPhee,
Yes.
Region 12 President Bloom,
Yes.
Region 3 President Ely,
Yes.
Executive Councilmember Hamlin,
Yes.
Vice President Hebner,
Yes.
Region 5 President Deegan,
Yes.
Region 7 Region 7 Vice President Zellmeyer,
Yes.
Region 8 President O'Connor,
Yes.
Region 2 President Galupo,
Yes.
Executive Councilmember Jarrett,
Yes.
Region 9 Second Vice President Evers,
Yes.
Region 1 President Junta,
Yes.
Region 6 President Gully.
Yes.
Madam President, we have 21 yeas and 0 nays.
Very good. The motion is adopted, and can I just add a sidebar? Cody and team, this is exactly how things are supposed to work. You brought the motion up in the last meeting. There were questions and concerns. You reviewed them, you talked to your teammates, you evaluated, and you came back with an improved product. And look at what happened. Nicely done. Okay. Next, we have motion 2026-21. The meeting book included in the motion form didn't reflect the proposed chart changes. Again, you folks have received the correction. Jim, will you please read your motion?
Yes, thank you. I move to insert a new section of policy creating 17.1 motions handling to document the process for motions to the International Board of Trustees as stated in Exhibit 1.
Okay, Constitution and Bylaws Standing Committee Chair moves to a new section of policy, to remove section of policy creating 17.1 motions handling and document for process for motions of the International Board of Trustees as stated in Exhibit 1. This motion comes from the Constitution Bylaws Standing Committee and does not need a second. Jim, will you please speak to your motion?
Thank you. Yes, and I thought I heard you say the word remove, but this is purely to insert a new section.
Correct.
Okay. First, and importantly, because I've had a lot of really good questions from many of you about this, and also from some of our members, this motion does not change current and longstanding practice for this club for motions handling of the International Board of Trustees. This is not changing how we do business. It documents the process for motions handling, and where we did not have any documentation, also it documents for electronic voting on motions by the IBT voting members outside of quarterly meetings. This is another area of question. This is not for amending the bylaws or policies. This is for the electronic motions are typically for routine approvals, such as flag or logo requests, special big red number requests, and typographical corrections that are not controversial. That's for the electronic portion. But finally, again, lacking any documented process for motions handling except constitutional amendments and some very high-level requirements for bylaws, this is putting into writing what you have been doing and provides guidelines for those who don't know how to do it. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for the motion maker? Rachel?
Hi, thank you. So I just want to emphasize that I am very pro this motion and the intentions behind it. I do want to raise some concerns with the language, specifically. So as it is written, there's a few points that are ambiguous, and then one that I'm really struggle with. So points 2 and 3 say if in order, and then point 4 says distributes the approved motions to the IBT. My struggle with those are that directors and trustees have a fiduciary obligation to bring issues that it believes is in the best interest of the club in front of the board. And the language in the current policy does not have any allowance for if there is a disagreement on how it's written. I know this is specifically focusing on electronic motions that are non-controversial, but it speaks to a broader process. There seems to be some conflation between approval versus review and commentary. And therefore it allows for, mistakenly allows for potential bottlenecks. We don't know who will fill these positions in the future, and it's just relying on the goodwill of volunteers involved. And I have more that I could say about that if we want to discuss it further, but I do have suggestions for changes. Let me find it. So one would be modifying steps 2 and 3. And again, this is to your point, Jim, right? Like that standing committees, parliamentarian roles, there are advisory versus enforcers. And so modifying steps 2 and 3 to something like instead of if in order initials and forwards for both those points, it might say the parliamentarian and CBL chair shall review the motion for form and consistency. If procedural concerns exist, they shall attach an advisory note detailing those concerns prior to forwarding the motion to headquarters for IBT consideration. And then modifying step 4 to change the language from if approved to distributes reviewed motions. So again, that is protective of trustees' fundamental rights to bring business in front of the board, but also has a process involved that helps with guidance, helps, trustees know what to do, and helps make sure that things are thoroughly written.
Thank you, Rachel. Jim?
Yes, thank you. The copy of the motion that I have in my hand is exactly as Rachel is suggesting. So I was sitting here trying to figure out why you were saying these words, if in order, and then I look, and sure enough, in the meeting book, I see on items E, subsection 2 and subsection 3, I see the words "and if in order." That is not in my copy, and I'd have to ask Ms. Grassi. I guess this would be a motion to amend. And can I make that motion to amend my own motion, or can I get Rachel to do so?
You can amend your own motion.
Okay, in that case, I move to amend my motion that on item E, subsection 2 and subsection 3, strike the words "and if in order." That's it.
Okay. Rachel, were you going to second that amended motion?
No, because I also have
your second needs your amendment.
What's that?
Say it again. You cut yourself off, Lori.
Her audio is bad. Yeah, she's having trouble with her audio. Let's go ahead and hear Grassy. Are you up now?
Jim, if you've moved to amend your motion, we need a second to the amendment, I believe is what she's saying.
If I can hold off, I'm going to withdraw my motion to amend until I hear if there are additional amendments that I need to make.
Okay.
I'm withdrawing that motion to amend until I hear if there are other ones. Okay?
Okay. Rachel?
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, so I would compliance is one of the words that I'm curious about exactly all of what that would mean, and then I do have still the standing issue with item 4. But Jim, I don't know if your copy has different language on that, as far as distributes the approved motions to the IBT, meaning like that reads to me as if it's been approved by a standing committee and parliamentarian versus been reviewed and had suggestions made.
Okay, first, where's the word compliance, please?
Well, I just had my iPad flip out on me and go all the way back to page 1. So give me one very quick. Oh, that would be under point 4. So compliance is under 2 and 3, and then the approved motions is under point 4.
You said there was a compliance word, I thought.
Oh yeah, compliance is under 2, just under 2.
Okay. And is there a word you would rather us use in lieu of compliance?
Well, I lack clarity on exactly what that means.
Okay. Well, and actually, all right. So if I agree to correct that in my motion to amend, which I'm about to do, are there any other points before I do that?
Well, there was point 4. Sorry, Jim. Point 4 under E4.
Yes, Rachel. And point 4 is exactly the way it happens now. Is once CBL and parliamentarian have reviewed and initialed a motion, it goes to HQ and they do number 4, exactly the way it's stated. Okay.
Yeah, my issue is with the, and I don't know if your copy says the same thing, distributes approved motions, because it implies that motions have to be approved before a trustee can bring important business before the board versus having reviews and suggestions.
All right.
That makes sense.
So I should say instead the initialed motion. Would that be satisfactory?
Yeah, I would say reviewed.
Okay.
The language suggestion I had was distributes reviewed motions.
All right. I am great with us proposing that, and we'll see if your members will vote that one in. Let's hear first from Grassy and Mr. Ebers. Thank you.
Lori?
I just wanted to point out that in the chat, Member Miller, BRN 212, is asking for a change. She'd like to see may be voted on electronically removed in item C. Since you're considering amendments. And I'm having bandwidth issues, so if I cut out, I apologize.
Okay. Tim?
So if we approve Alan's motion, how would we get the finance committee in this to review this part of it? Do we need to wait to see if we approve Alan's first and then add the language to this one to make it go to the finance committee so they can review it and the IT committee? Or what's the order of operation here?
No, I think the way that, sorry, Jim?
Go ahead. I stand down.
Okay, I was just going to say that we have them in the order they need to be here. We're not going to change that. This one, once we pass this, is not going to change what Alan's motion is. Alan's can still be a standalone motion.
Well, but Tim is correct. It will add the step. And so this motion gets passed or doesn't. I hope it passes because I've worked really hard on this with you. And then at the next IBT meeting, if Alan's passes, which maybe it will, I think it should, then at the next IBT meeting, we would vote on adding the review steps that are suggested by that.
Okay.
We're a rules following group and things in order, and this is not a difficult way for us to do it. Tim, good question though. Thank you, Tim. And to the member from Region 9, I agree that we will eliminate or maybe vote it on electronically. We don't need that. Thank you. That was a great catch. All right. So if there are no more questions, I'm willing to propose a amendment to this motion.
Please do.
Okay. Mr. Felder, sharpen your pencil. Here we go. I propose to amend this motion 2025-48, 2026-21. Item 17.1, Section C, to delete or may be voted on electronically. Item E, subsection 2, to delete and if in order. Item E, subsection 3, to delete and if in order. Item E, subsection 4, to change the second clause to sends the reviewed motion to IBT voting members for electronic voting. And I will send this to you also, Kendall. Okay, that's the entirety of my motion to amend. And I need a second for that.
Yes. Do we have a second?
The person who seconded your motion should approve the amendment.
My motion was from a committee.
Okay.
So do we have a second for the amendment? Sean?
Yes.
We have a second? Okay. Kendall, will you call the roll? And what you're voting on is the amendment to the original motion.
So if you're voting on the amendment to the original motion, then you'll need a second vote for the full motion as amended.
Right, but we need to get past this one first.
Yeah.
Kendall?
Region 9, second Vice President Evers.
Yes.
Region 10, President McPhee.
Yes.
Region 12, President Bloom.
Yes.
Region 3, President Ely.
Yes.
EC Member Miller.
Yes.
Region 2, President Galupo.
Yes.
EC Member Klingler.
Yes.
Region 4, President Pasfa.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Say again.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Region 1, President Junta.
Yes.
Secretary Felder is a yes. Executive Council Member Johansson.
I'll say yes. Yes.
Region 11, President Holly.
Yes.
Region 5, President Deegan.
Yes.
Vice President Hebner.
Yes.
EC Member Shaw.
Yes.
Region 8, President O'Connor.
Yes.
EC Member Jarrett.
Yes.
Region 6, President Gully.
Yes.
Region 7, Vice President Zellmeyer.
Yes.
EC Member Hamlin.
Yes.
Past President Watts.
Yes.
Madam President, the yeas are 21, the nays are 0.
Okay, so that passes the amended motion. Now, Kendall, will you please call the roll for the motion as amended?
Region 2, President Galupo.
Yes.
Region 7, Region 7, Vice President Zellmeyer.
Yes.
Executive Council Member Hamlin.
Yes.
Past President Watts.
Yes.
Secretary Felder. Yes. EC Member Johansson.
Yes.
Region 11, President Holly. Region 11, President Holly.
I believe we lost
Okay.
Holly.
I'll come back to him. Region 9, Second Vice President Evers.
Yes.
Region 10, President McPhee.
Yes.
EC Member Miller.
Yes.
Region 3, President Ely.
Yes.
Region 12, President Bloom.
Yes.
EC Member Klingler.
Yes.
Region 1, President Junta.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes, Kendall. Thank you.
Okay. Region 5, President Deegan.
Yes.
Vice President Hefner.
Yes.
EC Member Shaw.
Yes.
EC Member Jarrett.
Yes.
Region 8, President O'Connor.
Yes.
Region 6, President Gully.
Yes.
Region 4, President Pasfa.
Yes.
Region 11, President Holly. Did he return?
He did. I see him.
I don't.
Oh, there he is. Region 11, President Holly.
What's up? They're dropping shingles on my roof, and I had to go out and figure out what was going on. I'm getting a new roof installed. Oh my God.
Okay, John,
What's the question?
We're voting on the final passage of 2026-21.
Hey, as I said, yes.
Madam President, the yeas are 21, the nays are 0.
Thank you, Kendall. Thank you all. The motion as amended is adopted. Now we move on to motion 2026-16, Caravan Standing Committee Chair Beckwith. Will you please read your motion?
Thank you, Madam President. Let's see if I can get that up on my screen. The title of this motion is to create a Canadian subsidiary of the Wally and Caravan Club International to allow the club to operate officially in Canada, use Canadian banking for membership dues, club store purchases, caravans, national event rallies, and other activities, and file appropriate tax returns as required for operations in Canada. And the summary is this motion authorizes WBCCI to establish a Canadian subsidiary to formally support and administer the club's activities in Canada. It also authorizes the completion of all legal, banking, and administrative steps to organize and operate the entity in compliance with Canadian law.
Excuse me, George. Can you just read the motion first, please?
Just the title of the motion is all we needed, but you did that, so I'm just going to carry through with mine. Hang tight for a second.
He needs to actually read the motion. I move that.
Okay. George,
Okay.
please.
I move that WBCCI establish a Canadian subsidiary to serve as its official legal presence in Canada, and that all administrative actions necessary for its formation, banking, operation be approved and carried out in compliance with applicable Canadian laws and regulations as expeditiously as practicable.
Thank you. George Beckwith moves that WBCCI establish a Canadian subsidiary, to serve as its official legal presence in Canada, and that all administrative actions necessary for its formation, banking, and operation be approved and carried out in compliance with applicable Canadian laws and regulations as expeditiously as practicable. Is there a second for this motion?
I second.
Susan McPhee seconds. George, can you please speak to your motion now?
Yes, I can. And I've reached out to most of you, not everyone, unfortunately. I didn't get in touch with Bill Hamblin recently, Ken Johansson, Michael Genta, and I haven't talked to Chuck. I did exchange emails with some others that are on here, but didn't speak with them. This is, I guess, a long-running saga that many of you know. The club does have operations in Canada. We do charge our Canadian members $100, just like we charge everyone else. We are not legally recognized in Canada. Our legal recognition in Ohio that extends throughout the United States and its territories does not extend into Ohio. Um, that is why, or does not extend into Canada. That has made it difficult for us to open a Canadian bank account. So we discussed with a number of bankers, attorneys, and accountants, more than one of each, about the process of how we could allow U.S. citizens specifically to have access to Canadian bank account, or have the club have access to Canadian bank account. And what's required is to have legal recognition of the club in Canada, which would then allow us to do that in a tax exempt way. Because just like in the US, everything is taxable unless the IRS here says that it's non-taxable. And so they have to know who you are, and you have to ask them, and they give you the permission. So in today, we solve that, and we have some issues. For instance, in British Columbia, there is a RV park that the Alaska group stays in for about 3 days. And you take 27 rigs for 3 days. It's about $60 a night. They arrange tours for us, and we have meals there. And they have an 8% fee if we use US currency. And they have a credit card fee as well. So we'll say, well, I'll write you a check to avoid the 3% fee for credit card. And well, they don't take US checks. So we don't have Canadian checks, and our alternative is to carry cash. So we do carry cash. We typically register at the border, and we pay them about $14,000. It is, I wouldn't say unsafe, but it's probably not a best practice to carry cash. You register at the border. And we pay fees. That particular place, the fees, if we wouldn't have done cash, would have cost us about $1,000. And as Airstreamers, apparently we are cheap, and we try and save our caravanners that kind of money. So access to a Canadian bank account is one of the things that we've been after. And it's really one of the things that we were advised to do by accountants, lawyers, and bankers. So the first step in doing that is getting this Canadian recognition of the club, so the club can be officially licensed or recognized, legally recognized, and then open a bank account. We have on the caravan committee, we have a number of Canadian caravan leaders. And we have, I've talked to other Canadian caravan leaders, and I've talked to other Canadians. I've reached out to the 4 clubs in Canada. I've received support from Quebec, which I do not have in writing, but I did reach out to them, received written support, which I forwarded to you, along with answers to a number of questions that some of you guys raised. And I forwarded to you the written responses from the British Columbia Club and the Ontario Club. So I think I've talked to most of you about what questions you might have. I know David Gully, who's not there right now, had a question about the expense. I tried to clarify that. I did add, let's say, a cushion, and it was my estimate was originally 9,000 that I rounded to 10, which became 10 to 20. We have 2,500's already been paid. It was paid by the club to get access in a confidential way to an attorney, as we had been talking on a no-name basis with attorneys before that and accountants. So that 2,500 has been spent. So that would be, in my estimate, about $6,500 to go. There are other concerns. I will say in our outreach, there are Canadians who would like more say over all Canadian club operations. And I don't feel that whether we open a Canadian bank account, that was the appropriate way to address their concerns. But they do have concerns. And I would like to encourage, if any of them are listening, to get involved in their regions, possibly work up the region ladder and get representation that way. And I wish we had Canadians running for the EC. And I would encourage all of them to run for the EC. And but I don't know that having a separate governance model for Canadian versus US to me was something that we should address while we're trying to deal with an administrative issue of creating a bank account, which then required getting a legal representation or legal recognition in Canada. So are there any other questions or comments anyone would have? Ken, you're poking your screen. Do you have a question? Are you raising
Yeah,
your
I'm trying to get my little handy thing to go up. Is this what's considered to be a subordinate organization? That would be a separate entity that would be under the control of the present IBT?
Yes, I would certainly hope that the IBT would control the directors of this organization. Yes. And I didn't feel like I should be the one to appoint those people. I did suggest in the Q&A that I sent out that I do believe that someone like Lori, who is currently the owner of all club bank accounts, would be the natural, I would assume, owner of this one. I would assume the financial director would have some, since it's a financial account, oversight of it. There is no legal requirement that a Canadian be appointed to it's essentially a pro forma or perfunctory board that would be there. But I would suggest, if it were me, I would probably ask for Canadian input on that, but there's no requirement for it. It's certainly not going to be an elected position by some other group out there other than yourselves.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
Well,
Lori?
sorry.
Lori Tilton?
Thanks, Millie. I was just going to say, I really support this. I don't think some of you realize how much time and struggle our caravan leaders, our Canadians have getting money across the border. It's a very time consuming thing. So if we're able to take this first step, I could really see this being beneficial, just not to the caravan program, but to our clubs, to where, because technically we're not supposed to accept Canadian dollars right now. So if we have these things in place, I think we can make those things much easier for our members and operations as well. So thank you.
Does this change, George, I'm sorry, Ken, I saw your hand up. Just a quick question. Does this change how the Canadian members pay their dues? Does it have a financial benefit for them in their dues paying, or is this just mostly for caravan activity?
this does not require any change at all. It just authorizes the opening of a bank account. I did talk with Canadian members who are frustrated that they cannot pay in their local currency. Not all Canadians have US bank accounts. And they incur fees that US members do not, just to pay their dues, in addition to the 3%. So if they pay with a check, they incur a fee through their bank account for exchange. And some of them are frustrated, and it would allow the club the opportunity to come up with a way to do that. This just establishes the level, establishes I guess, the framework that other things could be built on.
Okay, understood. Thank you. I'm sorry, Ken, go ahead.
I guess I'd like to see more detail on this, because a 501c7 organization in the United States is allowed to do business in Canada. And I also understand that a 501c7 organization can open up a bank account in Canada. So I have to say, I'm not sure I'm understanding what is so different here, that we already have an entity here in the United States that could open up an account in Canada. So I guess I'd like to see more information, maybe the legal opinion on this, because in my professional opinion, I'm not sure this is really necessary. So,
okay, I'd like to address that as well. One of the things we discussed with the attorneys, and like I say, we haven't spent much money. We just did this little bitty retainer just to keep things confidential. So part of this is to discuss with attorneys and be able to actually pay them in accountants. We discussed having the U.S. club open a Canadian bank account. And to do that, they would need to register in a province. So you can't go to Canada and open a Canadian bank account without having a legal presence. So we would have to register ourselves in a province somewhere, which is an alternative. And There are issues with registering in a province in that we may have to register in other provinces because unlike the United States, we have a written constitution that was a framework that things hang on, and our Commerce Clause allows recognition across states. Canada, the provinces are much more, I would say independent, but they're standalone. And they have different rules between the provinces, and they don't necessarily all follow the same rules, similar to states, but with this in particular, more so than you would see in the United States. So we looked at that. We evaluated the cost of doing that and the cost of registering ACI so that we could have a presence in without forming another legal entity was about the same as forming a legal entity. It's a bunch of paperwork, and there are reports that need to be filed. There's also the issue that we currently conduct active business in Canada without filing a tax return. We do that today. Because we're not legally recognized, we don't file a tax return. It would be difficult for us to file a tax return without the equivalent of a federal ID number. We asked if that would be a problem if we registered in a province or anywhere. And they told us specifically that if we opened a bank account and had that number, that it is much more likely that the Canadian Revenue Agency would find us and we should begin filing. And they obviously advised us we should be filing today, no matter what we do. So we looked at that. We discussed which province we would then register in. And because we do operations from the Maritimes to British Columbia and the Northwest Territories, it was likely that we would have to register in many different provinces, and the cost would be greater to do that than the alternative which is being proposed, which is to create a legal entity which is a federal legal entity. And that's something that we don't have much in the United States. We do have some. The Post Office, Federal Reserve, is a federally chartered corporation. And in Canada, it's much more common for financial institutions and institutions that operate across provinces to incorporate as a federal nonprofit. Our operations in Canada today are taxable. If we registered in a province, and I do have an email about this that I can share with you, that others have seen, I believe probably Alan or some of the others, because there were someone from the Finance Committee was involved in it. If we register in a province and open a bank account that way, our operations will still be taxable in Canada. So that's one of the detriments of going that way. The only way they felt we could also be non-taxable, have our operations non-taxable, which includes membership dues in Canada, is to create a non-taxable, or what they refer to as a federal nonprofit in Canada. So that's the route we chose. We also chose doing nothing. We looked at the cost of doing nothing. And it is also expensive and risky. And so we were looking at trying to make an improvement here.
Thank you, George. Any other questions? Without any other questions, Kendall, will you call for the vote? Call the roll?
Past President Watts.
Yes.
Region 7 Vice President Zellmeyer.
Yes.
Vice President Hefner.
Yes.
EC Member Jarrett.
Yes.
Region 6 President Gully.
No is red.
EC Member Johansson.
No, too many open questions.
Region 8 President O'Connor.
Yes.
EC Member Shaw.
Yes.
Region 5, President Deegan. Region 5, President Deegan.
Yeah, sorry, no, too many open questions.
Region 11, Vice President Jurgensen. I'm sorry, good. My eyes got played full. Region 11. Nope. Seven.
Yes.
Region
Kendall.
7, Vice President.
Yes.
Del Mar.
Yes. I'm back. Thank you.
Region 11, President Holly.
Yes.
I got those two confused. I'm sorry on that.
Okay.
Me fix my system here.
Did you get an answer from Chuck, Kendall?
I did not.
Yes.
Okay. Secretary Felder, yes. EC Member Hamlin.
Yes.
Region 1, President Junta.
No.
Region 4, President Pasfa.
Yes. Yes.
I got. EC Member Klingler.
Yes.
Region 2, President Galupo.
Yes.
EC Member Miller.
Yes.
Region 3, President Ely.
Yes.
Region 12, President Bloom.
Yes.
Region 10, President McPhee.
Yes.
Region 9, Second Vice President Evers.
Yes.
Madam President, the yeas are 17 and the nays are 4.
Thank you, Kendall. The motion passes. Can I just make a quick aside? When you are voting, you cannot comment in accordance with Robert's rules. So it's just say yes or no, no other commentary. Okay, next we move on to motion 2026-19. Secretary Felder, will you please read your motion?
Yes. I move to amend bylaws Article 8 by adding a new section 12, items A through C, requiring members of the International Board of Trustees to conduct all WBCCI business through an authorized email address issued by the club as detailed in exhibits below.
Thank you. Secretary Felder moves to amend bylaws Article 8 by adding a new section 12, items A through C, requiring members of the officers, directors, committee chairs, and other designated members as specified by the president to conduct all WBCCI business through an authorized official email address issued by the club as detailed in exhibits below. Is there a second? John Deegan seconds. Kendall, will you please speak to your motion?
Purpose impact. This improves the international clubs.
I can't read it from here.
This improves international club security against disruption and expenses from incidents and ensures consistency, accountability, secure record keeping, and continuity during leadership transitions. Background. The high number of phishing and spoofing incidents involving internet accounts increase the likelihood of security compromises for the WBCCI, data and communications systems. Every region and executive council representatives offered an airscreenclub.org email account from headquarters. Financial impact. The cost of providing email is approximately $70 per account. The precise financial impact of a hacking incident is widely variable depending upon severity of incident. Recently, the Caravan Committee had an event that involved member funds lost to a hacker.
And what is the financial impact?
$70 per account.
Okay, thank you. Any comments? Questions? Tim?
So just for clarification, so for all these accounts, Lori and her team will administer these accounts. So if passwords need to be reset or something happens to them, we send everything back to ACI for them to take care of it.
Passwords resets are a little more automatic than that. But it doesn't need necessarily go through headquarters, and then Mark and his team can also handle password resets for simple things.
Okay, thank you. David Gully?
Yeah, Kendall, last time there was a question about would that email stay with that person after their term's up because of confidentiality maybe? Did we determine how we're going to handle going forward with these emails?
That's correct. We rewrote it to remove out the generic emails and is only named email addresses. So it'd be dgully@ice-cream-club.org, and it stays with you. It doesn't pass down.
Okay, so it'll stay with us from now on?
Correct.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
And that's if they choose to have it stay with them. Once they're off a board or retired from volunteering, they certainly don't need to keep it.
That is correct.
Okay. John Deegan?
Yeah, following that same question, I think I have the answer. So when one rolls off the board, will they still have access to that email, or is that archived somewhere?
If they choose to keep it, they will still have access to that email.
And who pays for that?
It continues to be paid for by the club.
Even though I'm no longer a member of the board?
Yes.
Ed? You're muted.
Yep, got it. Thank you. A couple quick questions. How far down do we go? I know the region presidents, but does it go to the first vice president, second vice presidents?
This is currently only being attributed to anyone in IBT level.
Oh, all right, fair enough. And is this going to be automatic, or do we make a request to Lori and staff to do this?
If it passes, it becomes automatic. Did I lose Ed? I think he's frozen.
I think he froze. Bob Ely?
Just to clarify, I'm going to be off in 6 weeks, leaving the work to you all. But do I need to have one if this passes now, Kendall, and shift over everything? I know that's very specific, but I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, no, I get it. So you're at the very tail end.
Kendall, I would say he wouldn't. We wouldn't automatically make it. If it's just for a few weeks, I would think we'd make the exceptions, save a couple of bucks, and
correct.
pass it on to the first VP coming up.
That is correct.
Okay.
And he already has one, so you all will be good as far as Region 3 goes. So,
yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Sean?
This is just a cost question. Is there a way that we can monitor if the emails are used after a person's term ends? And then if there's no activity, say after 12 months, I mean, you pick the time, that those accounts then be frozen and the club doesn't have to pay?
Yes, Lori Tilda can talk to us. Lori Mark can talk to us, but that is currently happening. They are doing an audit at least annually, and sometimes more than that, but they are looking for emails that are not being used, and once they're not being used, they will ask a member about it, and then they will close the account.
Yeah, so I'll just tag on to that what Kendall was saying. So when we buy these licenses, they're for a year, so it's a 12-month span. Every late summer, we go through an audit. We contact everybody who has a .org email to confirm they're using it. If they are, they stay as is. If not, then we will, I don't want to say delete, but we will delete that user, but then reuse that license for somebody else if we need to reassign it. They're not, the reassignment doesn't include any past stuff. It's just the licensure that we would use. So yes, we do go through an audit. Yes, we've noticed that there's normally we lose, I don't say lose, but people stop using them about a year after they've been in that position is what the trend has been.
Okay. Anyone else? Michael?
So you mentioned $78 per user. What is the total projected cost for everyone?
This question is $70.
Is it 78 times 20 something people, or is there already 20 something people that already have it? What is it total?
It is $70, not 78, 70. And I did have this number in my motion.
It was roughly additional 3,600 is what we came up
There
with,
we go.
Kendall, for
Correct.
these additional emails a year.
Okay, thank you. Chuck?
I guess my question follows up on that. Being an accountant by trade, money scares me. So currently we're a cost of 3,600. Am I understanding correctly that there's an annual renewal at a rate of $70 per license, which means that if nobody drops off, this is going to continue to grow and grow and grow?
It could, yes.
Good.
Okay. Thank you.
However, I will add on that. I do understand that. If we get hit with some incident like we just did, that number is immeasurable. We have no idea what that financial impact would be.
John?
Yeah, I'm having trouble with unmuting. From a security point of view, I really think that we ought to sunset these licenses at a fixed time after somebody has left the board. Secondly, Kendall, maybe you can answer this question. Can I integrate this email address into my own personal Outlook client on my PC?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Lori?
Yeah, just to tag on to that, along with the email license, you have access because it's a basic Microsoft 365. So you're going to have access to Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, OneDrive. Those are also additional items that come along with the basic license. And I was going to mention, but John got to that. If you are using Outlook, whether it's on your PC or Mac, you can also use the web version, so you can have access to that as well.
Okay. Tim?
So is there a tier level that we could purchase to bring the price point down?
That's the lowest.
That's the lowest? Okay.
Yeah, it's $6 a month.
Okay.
Kendall, I have a question. Oh, I'm sorry. Rachel, you go ahead.
Well, that's okay. I just, I think Kendall, you kind of spoke to this, but I don't know, from Mark or Kendall's perspective, what is an estimated ballpark on risk, the cost of not doing this if we were to have a security breach? While we're talking about the cost of the email addresses, the cost of approximate times costs for if we were to have an attack.
Yeah, that's going to be really hard to like estimate. It really depends on the level of exposure that a breach has, right? If somebody's email, people get much more convincing if your account gets breached and they start using the account for spam or other like scam tactics. It's a lot of folks in the club are not necessarily as savvy about phishing and other scam attacks. So if it comes from an email address that was phished, it's a problem. But the extent of their problem is like it's hard to quantify. The reputational damage is massive.
I have a question, Kendall, and maybe for Lori Tilton as well. I'm starting to wonder what is the wisdom of keeping an email address after you're off the board. So hypothetically, when my board term ends, I could see maybe for a month there might be a couple of emails that need to be responded and forwarded to the next in line. But the reality is, I don't think I would need to have an airstreamclub.org email if I'm not serving on a board. So I kind of like the idea of maybe making an alteration there. Does that make sense, or is there a reason to keep it long term?
It depends on your role. Millie. I mean, let's say after president, you are the knitters chair. I don't know. You're in a different role, right?
Never
Where
gonna let
you're
me
doing
leave.
outreach to businesses or whatever, right?
Right.
So that is where you could see keeping that for a while. If you're representing the club,
Okay.
you would keep that airstreamclub.org. Trust me, guys, we got 100 plus. I mean, right now between you guys, I think everybody realizes the clubs have emails, the regions have emails,
Right.
caravans have emails. So we have hundreds of these right now already. So it just depends on your role on whether or not you keep it or not. And I agree. If we've had them to where people are using them, and then we've had them to where they don't use them afterwards. So we shut them down. I mean, again, we do an audit annually.
So you do have the option to shut them down. It's not being used. We're not going to waste money on an email address just sitting out there in the Ethernet.
Right. We're not going to
doing
renew
nothing.
it. If
Okay,
we're not going to
good.
renew it if you're not using it.
Good.
Right. In case it wasn't clear, like we've observed this now over a number of years. On average, an email address stays active for about a year after the person leaves the role. If they're eager about retaining it, sure. We could at some point in the future consider getting people to, like, if they want to retain an airstreamclub.org email address, that they get to pay for it themselves. I just don't see it happening. Like people just, they age out, they leave, and the email goes or the email goes stale, and we can recuperate it there.
Okay. Thank you. Michael?
So there's a lot of emails going around the club all the way around. I mean, I think about the membership chairs, I think about the local club presidents. I mean, I feel like this is just kind of topping away on a very small portion. One could argue that maybe the local clubs put out more emails than the presidents. Um, I don't know. I feel like they're like last time. I think there's still many questions and things to be discussed on a greater, broader scale because of all these emails ripping around the club from all sorts of people.
Thank you. Ed?
Yeah, I'm not sure how to ask this question, but I know for a fact that our one of our clubs, Iowa North, has an airstreamclub.org email address. Will that continue? Will there be an audit of all the clubs? That probably goes to you, Lori.
Yeah, we do. I think we have 181 right now, maybe emails somewhere around there. Ed, you just moved on my screen. And I was trying to look at you on a side. There you go. So we have a ton of emails out there. Again, every year we go through a massive audit. We email people, we make sure it's active. If they don't want it, and even we've had it where we'll email a club and they're like, "Oh no, we're not using that." And so we shut it down, and then we get a call 2 weeks later that they can't get into their job form or their PayPal account or whatever. So we do have a small window after we shut down to do a recovery. But trust me, guys, we stay on top of these emails to make sure that they're being utilized, and
Let me follow up? Would not every club in a region would be allowed to have a email account?
No,
Is
they
that
do.
correct?
They
They
have
do?
the option. That's been in place since 2022.
Okay.
Every club and every region gets a .org email.
Okay, but they need
And
to ask
caravan.
for it. The clubs need to ask for it if they want it.
We continually try to educate, because as we've seen, when there's a change in leadership, they don't normally pass that information on. So we do. We
Let me
try to
clarify.
communicate.
Let me clarify again. It's not necessarily going to be the club president's name. It's going to be Missouri, Kansas
Correct.
club.
So
So it's
in
generic going forever.
it's generic in the clubs, it's generic in the regions, it's generic on the caravans. Those are not personalized, whereas the executive council and the region presidents will be personalized. So those are all generic, currently the way it's set up.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
So if I
And
can-
to tap, I'm sorry, Millie, just one more thing. So we do have a couple like Region 7. I don't know where Chuck went. So they ask for two extra emails a year, and they pay for that. So if there's a club that wants more than one email, and I think Region 12 is the same way, if you want more than one email, we can assign it to you, but you're going to pay for that additional email for your club, region, whoever you got.
Right. And if I can address one of the questions that we have in the Q&A, somebody asked about if there's 100 email addresses, then the total cost would be more like $7,000, but they're looking at total emails. This motion addresses the officers' emails going forward. So we're not mixing the cost of everything, the whole club together versus just the officers. Okay, if the questions are done, Kendall, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Region 9, Second Vice President Evers.
Yes.
Region 10, President McPhee.
Yes.
Region 12, President Bloom.
Yes.
Region 3, President Ely.
Yes.
EC Member Miller.
Yes.
Region 2, President Galupo.
Yes.
EC Member Klingler.
Yes.
Region 4, President Pasfa.
Yes. Yes.
Region 1, President Junta.
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. EC Member Hamlin.
Yes.
Secretary Felder is a yes. Region 7, President Holly.
Did it again.
Region 7, did you say?
Region 11, President Holly.
Yes.
I carried my typo over. Sorry about that, guys. Region 5, President Deegan.
Yes.
Vice President Hefner.
Yes.
EC Council Member Shaw.
Yes.
Region 8, President O'Connor.
Yes.
EC Member Johansson.
Yes.
EC Member Jarrett.
Yes.
Region 6, President Gully.
Yes.
Region 7, President Zellmeyer.
Yes.
Past President Watts.
Yes.
Madam President, the yeas are 21, the nays are 0.
Thank you, Kendall. The motion is adopted. Now we move on to motion 2026-25. Finance Director Rab, will you please introduce your motion?
Yes, thank you, and hopefully this brings us home. So the motion, I move standing committees, general duties, policy 3.11, comma B, comma 2, be modified to require assessing the financial and IT impact to the club on all motions as stated in Exhibit 1.
Finance Director Rab moves that the standing committees, general duties policy 3.11-B-2 be modified to require assessing the financial and IT impact to the club on all motions as stated in Exhibit 1. This motion comes from the Finance Standing Committee and does not require a second. Alan, will you please speak to your motion?
Yes. This implements the policy requiring all proposed motions to be reviewed by the finance director and IT director for a potential financial and IT impacts before being presented to the IBT. Failure to obtain the reviews will prevent a motion from being presented to the IBT for approval. Consideration and judgment of these impacts for motions from the floor will be carried out during motions and discussions. As a little bit of background, there was no process for obtaining the assessment of impact from the director of finance and the chair of the IT standing committee. There have been recent motions presented that didn't include financial or IT impact. Sometimes that's raised subsequent questions, potentially wasting meeting time of the IBT and requiring rework by the parties that have been involved.
Okay. Any questions? Rachel?
Yes. So I struggle with this motion in many ways that I did the last one, and if not more so. There's a few reasons why I think any responsible trustee making a motion should be trained up and aware that part of our fiduciary obligations are to check in with any and all applicable committees for the motions that we're making. So that meaning there are other potential connections and committees that need to be communicated with on any given motion. As well as, and in addition to, the board's primary responsibility and job is looking at oversight and finance. And this to me feels like it is the board giving its the word is escaping me, delegating, thank you, delegating its responsibilities to a third-party committee. The other issue is, it's basically putting a massive administrative burden on the CB&L committee, as well as potentially the finance committee and the IT committee, and causing, what happens for more urgent things, time sensitive things. And then in addition, there is and again, I say this by not accusatory, just plain what I think an accidental risk the motion is creating, which is potential for pocket vetoing, stymieing, motions from moving forward if someone were to say, oh, I disagree with this motion. And the big reason for that is some of the language here. My biggest being the section B, shall not be eligible for consideration by the Board of Trustees. Again, that is a big violation of parliamentary law, in my opinion, that the board doesn't have its motions locked up with in these kind of processes without being then prevented from bringing business to the board, which is the duty that they are sworn in and elected to do. So again, there's more to this that I could go on about. And I do have language suggestion changes if it comes to it.
Thank you. Bill?
Hi, have an internet issue, so I'll be brief. I know I had a pretty lengthy email with a lot of the same concerns that Rachel just voiced. So I just wanted to, like I said, raise those again. I do feel like it is our jobs and, the members of the IBT's jobs to, respect each other and respect the process when putting a motion together and filling it out completely. The form clearly states, IT and financial impacts. So it's more than implied that those should be considered. I just don't know that we need to legislate away, some bad actions and instead, try to fall back on the upcoming training and just hold ourselves to a better standard. And I think I got that out and I didn't lose connection. So I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Cody?
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with that. I think as a procedure, as everyone said, we should be consulting with with Alan and Mark in their current roles to get those questions answered. But my concern with this is that the requirement and the language, we need to encourage us as trustees to do our due diligence, before the motion gets presented. But making it a requirement is going to prohibit things from getting to us as a board to vote on. I mean, Rachel said, that a pocket veto, but what happens if Alan is away, for any length of time? What do we do then? And that holds up a motion from being approved. So, for that reason, as it sits, this is just something that I can't get behind.
Okay, Jim?
Okay, thank you for the opportunity to address this. First, there's no such thing as a pocket veto on motions that the IBT or standing committee chairs generate, because all of you already are responsible for presenting your motion first to Motions Act. That logs your motion into the process. There's no veto on that. Your motions are recognized by headquarters, and by them going to Motions Act, the parliamentarian and CBL chair automatically get them. So there's no such thing as pocket veto in that respect. 2, workload. We probably average somewhere around 60 to 70 something motions a year at the most. That's about 2.5 motions. I'm sorry. Excuse me for the math. That's about 5 some odd motions a month. That's not much of a workload for us to review or to be, in this case, forwarding to the finance and IT committee chairs. So no, that's not creating much more workload as, for example, the CBL chair, if they're the ones that are going to be forwarding those. Finally, yeah, so if Alan's not there, you're not going to be able to get that reviewed by him either. So, but that's not really the problem because Alan has a really strong finance committee, and he has for over 2 years had a really strong finance committee with awesome people. So, yeah, if Alan's not going to be there, he lets us know. That already happens, and we know where to take those. Same thing with Mark. He's got a great committee. So, I don't think that's much of a problem. I think that there are things that we can improve on this later. This gets it started. It creates good support. Yes, you still, all of you, still would want to have contacted Mark or Alan or their lieutenants, and we are just going to send it to them if this motion passes and say, please check this off. And I agree with Joe Poplinski's excellent recommendation that we would add those two sign-offs, those two initial blanks on the motion form. Thank you, Joe Poplinski, for suggesting that one. I stand down.
Thank you, Jim. Rachel?
Yeah, I want to clarify the language that I used. I'm not meaning a technical pocket veto, but it just. I just have a fundamental issue with writing into policy something that gives away the board's ability to hear a motion that's important from a trustee who's been elected to bring it forward. And so it does not follow Robert's rules, in my opinion, because the chair / the international president is the only one that can rule technically a motion out of order. I feel like it is taking a policy issue and kind of backwards in our hierarchy of governing documents, trying to inform upwards of the Constitution and the bylaws by this is bylaws, but the Constitution by the responsibilities and the role of the board itself. So if we were to modify language to something, I've got two suggestions to try to emphasize kind of what I mean by all this. So if we were to modify point B to say something like, the finance director and IT chair shall provide advisory assessments within 5 business days of receipt. The absence of an advisory assessment shall not prevent the International Board of Trustees from considering a motion, but the lack of assessment shall be noted in the motion form. It also puts a timeline for turnaround, so these things can't be indefinitely queued, so that an issue that a trustee wants to bring before the board is not heard. Alternatively, I don't like this one as much, but the finance director and IT chair shall be provided copies of all proposed motions at least 7 days prior to distribution. They may attach advisory impact notes to the motion form. If an assessment is not submitted within 7 days, the motion shall proceed to the IBT with a notation that a review is pending. So again, if we want a little bit of robustness to ensure that these evaluations are happening and that they save time, that is a way of getting at it without the board giving away its fundamental obligations and rights to bring issues before the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. That was very well spoken. I do have a question. I may be losing something in the translation between the original language of the motion and what Rachel is suggesting. To me, this motion is an insurance policy to make sure folks are checking the T's, crossing the T's and dotting the I's, right? I mean, we want to make sure that we're doing that. And we trust each other as adults and trustees and workers in this little business that we do the right thing. To me, the motion speaks to a reminder to get it done, but it's not, I don't think it's canceling any ability for a motion to come to the board. I think what it's doing is, technically, the thing isn't really even a motion until it's gone through all those checkpoints. Once it's passed all that and gets all those little initials on the bottom, then, and only then, is it a formal motion brought to the board for approval. Jim, am I correct on that? It has to go through all those to become a motion. So we're not preventing any motions from coming to the board. They all get there eventually once they're written properly. That's really all this is ensuring that we're following the rules, crossing the T's and dotting the I's. Nobody's going to prevent anyone from bringing a valid motion to the board. Jim?
Yeah. So it's not a motion until it is entered in before this August body verbally or in our electronic voting, which is a whole nother thing, which anyhow, it's not a motion until it's presented. That's one. Two, this is just creating a check, and it is not to slow anything down. And there's no way we're going to operate on a 5-day window. I'm sorry. You will not put these volunteers into a 5-day window on any of this. We don't operate on that now. We operate on, our next IBT meeting is in 70 days. We have to meet the meeting book deadline before that, and we're going to do all the work that we need to in that time frame. Yeah, you talk about legislating things. Don't put us on a 5-day window. We're volunteers. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Rachel, one more?
I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, that can be edited, obviously.
Right.
That's just, I'm making suggestions because I'm not going to poke holes in things and not offer solutions. So obviously 5 days can be changed, but not having any kind of timeline at all means they can, in fact, based on the way it is written, be held indefinitely and not be brought before the IBT, which is not really, it's just not legally, ethically okay.
We would never want to do that. You're right. You're right. Okay. I guess at this point, Kendall, want to call the roll?
Past President Watts,
Yes.
Region 11 President Holly,
Yes.
Region 7 Vice President Zellmeyer,
Yes.
Region 9 Second Vice President Evers,
Yes.
Secretary Felder is a yes. Region 4 President Pasfa,
Yes.
is it EC member Klingler,
No.
Region 2 President Galupo,
Yes.
EC member Miller,
No.
Region 3 President Ely,
Yes.
Region 12 President Bloom,
Yes.
Region 10 President McPhee,
Yes.
Region 6 President Gully,
Yes.
EC member Jarrett,
Yes.
EC member Johansson,
Yes.
Region 8 President O'Connor,
Yes.
EC member Shaw,
Yes.
Vice President Hefner,
Yes.
Region 5 President Deegan,
No.
EC member Hamlin,
No.
Region 1 President Junta. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes, Kendall.
Okay.
Thank you.
Madam President, the yeas are 17, the nays are 4.
Thank you, Kendall. The motion passes as written. That completes new business. Now we move on to the region business and announcements. This is my favorite part of the meeting, where all our region presidents tell us what's going on. Can we start with Michael Ginta in Region 1?
Thank you, Millie. I appreciate that. Region 1, we have two significant things happening in the very near future. This will be the last year for the Region 2 co-rally with Patty Galupo and myself and past President Gary Russo. We have a tremendous turnout. I think we've sold it out, 95 rigs. We have a great venue. It's in the beautiful Lakes region. Patty, I want you to take off of that. I'll stop there. We have a tremendous schedule. All our local clubs have put together really beautiful schedule of new locations, new different activities. In the last bunch of years that I've been with the club, I think this has been probably the most impressive schedule we've seen in Region 1 with the local clubs experimenting and doing some new fun things. We are rolling right into early September with the Region 1 rally at Gunstock Mountain Resort. We have tremendous sponsorship from both Airstream, Blue Compass, and some local vendors. The volunteers that I've been working with from all over the region. It's really been a group effort, have done a tremendous job. I'm very excited about it, with a real focus on fun and relaxation at a really beautiful location. I think after that is over, we're going to be rolling right off into myself and the team helping support the local clubs through the election process in regards to being present to inducting the new officers, all the local clubs. So that's what I got. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Region 2, Patty.
Thank you, Millie. Thank you, bandmates. I'll tag on with Michael on it's called the Sampson Rally, which is up in the Finger Lakes in New York, and it's been a great collaborative effort with Mike and his team. I want to also add that our first vice president, Matt Moore, has been busting his tail working on this. So we're launching next week, wheels up on Wednesday. So looking forward to that. I'm very happy and proud to announce that Region 2 has a brand new second vice president. We got Jim Lorden elected. He currently sits as the local unit president of my home state, New Jersey. So he's president of the New Jersey unit, and he's joined the Region 2 team. He brings with him accounting experience. So we're going to put him to work shoring up the project that Alan spoke about earlier and helping our local units get in compliance with that situation. Out of Minot, unfortunately, Matt, nor Jim, nor I can make it out to Minot unless I sneak into an airplane at the last minute in a cargo hold and head out there. But luckily, our region has a deep bench. So I've got our membership chair, Colleen Ehlers, is running our Region 2 lunch at Minot. And our great treasurer, Will Kushto, is going to be carrying the flag and representing us as well. So although we are not physically there, our other bandmates are. And in conclusion, actually I have a meeting tonight. We've got a great Region 2 rally scheduled in May of 2027 in Ocean City, Maryland. We were in the mountains in Pocono in May. We're going to the water in Maryland next spring. And our great president of the Delmarva unit, Jamie Bull, is running point on that. So lots of fun stuff going on. Thanks, guys.
Sounds great, Patty. You guys will be missed in Minot, but you'll be there in spirit. Don't be getting in the cargo holds anywhere. Get a real seat. Bob Ely, Region 3.
Good morning, or should I say afternoon to all. Well, as I already announced, my time is limited. Come September 1st, I'll be moving to past president, and Mr. Bob Huffman will be taking over the reins as president. Many of you know Bob. He's very involved with the club, especially with international. So I'm been great to work with him over the years, and now he gets to be in charge, which I'm okay with. So that'll happen September 1st. The region is doing great. We've got 17 clubs. Everybody's got an active schedule. I've been really impressed with the clubs and the ideas and stuff. I'm seeing a lot more sharing of ideas within the region and ideas that are coming from other areas in the country as far as rallies, rolling rallies, club caravans, whatnot. So that's pretty exciting stuff. We too have elected a new VP2. Her name is April Strader Bullen. She's a North Carolina girl. She's got a great background. She's great with hospitality. She's great with organization. She is running a local club's website and things like that. So I'm looking forward for her energy and her abilities to come on board and help the region. We are doing good as a region as far as membership, getting people included. Malia Jacobs is our new membership chair, and she's working hard to reach out to some of the members at large to see if they don't want to find a club family to be a part of. I think that's critical. to really find your clan, if you will. So anyway, good things are happening. People are standing up and taking charge, which makes it really nice as I pass everything along. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Mike, Region 4. Mike, are you still there?
I don't see him, Millie.
Gosh, maybe he fell off. We'll come back to him. Hopefully he'll jump back on. Region 5 then.
Hi, Millie. John Deegan here, Region 5. I think several of you may know that our Region 5 first vice president submitted her resignation here not too long ago. And with that, I did not have any first or second VPs in Region 5. Working with Millie and with Jim Cock, we were able to get approval or concurrence for us for the Region 5 board to elect an interim first VP and a interim second VP to serve through the end of my term, which would be December 31st of this year. With that said, we elected Artie Martin as our first vice president, and I think most of you here may know Artie. He's been on the IBT at least 2 times, and he plays a wonderful guitar. So what can I say? Our second VP is Karen Kruer. She is currently the president of the Indiana Airstream Club. And I'm sure you all know Karen and Mark from Grapes and Grains, and she has been a wonderful resource for us here in the region. And so we're looking forward to having both Artie and Karen as interim elected officers of the board for the end of the year. Right now, I'm speaking to you from our second region rally of the year. This is called Streamin' in the Bluegrass State. We are at the Kentucky Horse Park in Lexington, Kentucky, with a region rally. We're going to have over 30 Airstreams here, probably by the end of the day today. And this is the 3rd year that Region 5 has hosted 2 region level rallies. This year we've been to Madison, Indiana, where we hosted our first urban rally, parked right along the Ohio River. The previous year we were again in Madison for the Chautauqua Art Festival, which was an amazing activity. And before that, we were at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway area for the month of May. And the year before that, we hosted 2 rallies, including a rally for the solar eclipse. So we're having a lot of fun in Region 5. Putting on 2 rallies a year keeps us busy. And we'll talk about that this weekend when we have our board meeting. Millie, back to you. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Very good. David Gully, Region 6.
Thank you, Millie. Things very, very active in Region 6, fortunately. Other than a little heat, which we're all having. We've been fortunate. I've been able to attend about 6 or 7 unit rallies already this year. We've been able to help our East Tennessee unit celebrate their 50th anniversary this year. We just celebrated Pensacola's 60th anniversary and also the Arkansas unit's 60th anniversary, all with very positive turnout. We're actively selling our luncheon for Minot. Sales are going great for that, so I think we're going to have a good participation there. Our Region 6 rally will be held September 23rd through the 27th in Foley, Alabama, which is the Gulf Shores Orange Beach area. It sold out early. The park, because of the tremendous wait list we had, has been able to give us a lot more sites. So we're about 50% over what I had hoped for, which is great. As soon as that's over, we're already starting to actively, we'll start registration for our 2027 event. But other than being very busy, everything's great in Region 6.
Very good. Thank you, David. Region 7, Chuck, I'd be remiss if I didn't welcome you to the board and make sure that you convey to Chris our thanks, because this would have been his final IBT meeting had he been able to make it. And he will be missed. He did a great job as a member of the board, and we'll see him down the road. Tell us what's going on in your world.
Absolutely, Millie. Thank you. That was what I was going to lead with, but you got me.
Oh,
Actually,
sorry.
I think Chris jumped in to watch a little while ago when he got done with his appointment. But yes, Chris has been just a tremendous leader for Region 7 and done many great things. Along with, he will be helping us to do ambassadors at Minot, being the host Region 7. We're very excited about that. I think we're going to have a tremendous participation. We do have a breakfast schedule right now. We are scheduled for, I think it's a little over 30 folks, which I think is really good for our breakfast. Probably the two exciting things that are going on right now for Region 7 are, one, we do have a new second vice president that was just elected last week, a gal by the name of Kim Wells. Some of you may know her from Grapes and Grains. She is a retired Miller Coors person. So she seemed to think that it was going to be a natural for her to get involved in Grapes and Grains. Whatever, they're hometown here, so we get excited about anything Miller Coors. We're going to be welcoming Kim into our fold. The other thing that's going on, Steve Rowley, second vice president of Region 4, reached out a few months ago and asked us if we were interested in doing a joint region rally between 7 and 4 in 2028. And I got to tell you, Steve has just done some tremendous work going and scouting out Escanaba and the Fair Park that many of you may remember from 2017 International Rally. And I do think that that's where we're going to be holding this rally. Escanaba Fair Park has really done a lot of major improvements to the facility. They were good before. They're going to be great now. And of course, anyone who's ever been to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, we like to refer to it as the Upper Peninsula of Wisconsin, but there's some controversy there. It's going to be very exciting. And I really appreciate the fact that Steve has reached out and spearheaded this, and we will be keeping you posted. Thank you.
Thank you. That sounds cool. Ed, Region 8.
Well, hello, good morning, good afternoon to everybody. Region 8 is really busy these days. We too have some leadership changes. Our first vice president chose to resign. So my second vice president, Jamie Daly, has agreed to move up and will succeed me in 2028, which seems like a long way away, but it will go fast. We had a great spring rally in Hutchinson, Kansas. For Region 8, we had royalty there. We were thrilled to have her there with us. And we're getting ready to plan our 2027 Region Rally in Branson, Missouri. We were down there last weekend, my wife and I, doing a little recon and doing some advanced planning for Branson, Missouri. So everybody wants to put on their cowboy boots, come on down to Branson next May. We're really thrilled. We're having a lot of joint rallies between our 6 clubs here in Region 8. We've got a tri-club rally next weekend up in Iowa, and we've had a couple joint rallies in the Ozarks, and it's just really great to see everybody pulling together to get to know everybody. We had a great rally in St. Louis at Bill Thomas Airstream. Again, we had royalty there, and we were thrilled to have her there with us. So then as soon as we get back from Minot, we'll start the installation rally process and be traveling to those rallies so we can install the new club officers as they take their term at the reins. And then we got a special rally in October. I'll be a final rally. It's called the Spam Rally. So we're going to have gatherings for meals, but everything has to be made with Spam. And it's just a fun event. And I will have to leave that one a day early so I can have a 3-day trip down to Hillsboro to meet up with you all in NTAC. Glad you're doing that in the Midwest this time, Ellie. That'll be fun. So that's all from Region 8. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed. And I enjoyed crawling through your region this spring. Tim, Region 9, what's happening?
All right, thank you. Yeah, Region 9 is very active. We have a lot of good local clubs with some great new rallies that we've been doing this year. If you're interested, just take a look at the website. They're doing a great job. We're also looking for our new second VP. We have quite a few candidates that are interested in that position, and we're going through our process to get that person in that position. We also have our social coming up at Minot. It should be a lot of fun. I hope to see everybody there. We completed our region rally at Camp Margaritaville. It was a great rally. It was early in the year, and I got a little sunburn, so it was a lot of fun. We're also planning for our Streaming on the Strand, the Wally's Workshop, and Stitching and Fishing. These are all 3 great rallies that Region 9 does every year. They keep growing in popularity each year, and I'd hope to see everybody there. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. I can attest those are some great rallies, and the sun was out in Margaritaville. Region 10, Susan.
Thank you, Madam President. We just finished our Region 10 rally a few weeks ago. Whew. Done with that. There was a couple of things that I thought were really successful that I'd like to share. One is I talked before about the lottery that we did for registration, and it was I think it was perfectly successful in that we originally had 180 people that registered for the lottery, and in the end, we had 120 spots, and in the end, we ended up with 120 trailers, and everybody that had registered for the rally or for the lottery was able to attend if they so chose. And then we even had a little bit of a wait list after that. So I kind of feel like the needle was threaded perfectly. Nobody was left out. Everybody could attend that ended up wanting to. So that was really good. And we also had an increased partnership with our local dealer who has 5 locations in Region 10, and they're a pretty close partner always anyway. But this rally, they came and they brought 6 trailers brand new to show. They brought like a booth with clothing and accessories. They brought a van that had some repair items, like what might we need, and a lot of people use that. So it was kind of exciting. The Stetson was there. I think everybody really enjoyed that. And then probably my favorite part is we were able, through multiple means, to raise $15,000 for 3 local charities. And for us, I think that was a record as far back as I could see, but I think everybody is so enthusiastic about raising money for charities, buying, things that were donated or all the different games that we played. So that was probably, I think, my highlight for me. But also, we're doing a region breakfast in Minot, and then it's my lucky turn to do the region officers meal. Sean, I see you laughing. It'll happen well, no, it won't happen to everybody someday. But anyway, I happen to be the lucky person to follow John Hawley. But he was kind enough to share his chef with me, and she is going to be putting on quite the spread. You've all been invited. Hopefully you've seen that email and will come. Let's get together. Let's have fun together. And I hope you all attend. So, I'm inviting all the EC and the ACI staff as well. So anyway, thank you, everyone.
Nicely done. And congratulations. $15,000 is nothing to sneeze at. Kudos to the team. John Holly, speaking of party planners, what's going on?
$15,000. I thought about starting the John Holly Foundation to a lottery to support my new roof, but I guess that won't be possible for the members to contribute to. Everything is positive and swimming along with great joy here in Region 11. The 6 clubs have done remarkable work. Not only have we convinced them, and they have now taken it by the horn to have joint rallies, 2 or 3 clubs get together. But not only that, but the clubs have expanded because we have so many people that want to sign up. and a lot of new Explorer members that don't know that you have to sign up on the minute after it opens, or you are on the wait list. So we have expanded our rallies to 2 weeks instead of one. And sometimes the hosts will change off, or the assistants will become the host, or sometimes the hosts will stay on. So we get double people in each rally. So instead of 25 to 30 trailers, we get 50 to 60 trailers, which is really a terrific way to expand that out. I've tried to visit all of the clubs twice a year. This year, I'm only visiting Wyoming one time, and that's coming up in a rally coming up just in another week, where they're having their big rally in Thermopolis, Wyoming. Have any of you ever heard of Thermopolis, Wyoming? I had never heard of it before, but apparently it's a charming little town and has a lot to offer, and the Wyoming Club is very excited about it. Um, we are about 200 of our members are going to be attending Minot. We're very excited about that, and we've got a great lunch planned and a lot of activities with the clubs. And many of our clubs will be attending and parking with different, since the regions don't have an actual parking and we can't get everybody in together. The members will be parking with various intra clubs, as well as a lot are going to VAC and Grapes and Grains, of course, because they're a lot of fun to be around. The second vice president, some of you said you put on second vice president. I'm having a problem getting a second region vice president. The three people I've talked to, I want people that have leadership ability, that have either been a president of a club or been in some capacity which had leadership control. And the people said that they don't want to make a 6-year commitment. That's basically it. And of course, I didn't know it either when I signed up. I thought it was a 1-year commitment for each year. But anyway, the so that's something I'm dealing with. We've got some other talented people that may come on board that I am interviewing, and the nominating committee is investigating. But hopefully, we'll have a good second VP lined up. I'm happy to hear that Ed had such a good time with his rally in Hutchinson, Kansas. That's my hometown, Hutchinson, Kansas. And they have a fabulous fairgrounds there with everything going on. But I never have heard of, and I don't know, I want to try a spam rally. But anyway, that was a great idea, Ed. And I think there's a lot of things. So things are good. In spite of all the craziness that's going on in our government and the world and everything, our clubs are happy. They're all very excited about getting together to camping and having fun, and that's what we're doing. So thanks, Millie.
Perfect. Thank you, John. You're right. We do want to camp. Sean, we're going to be camping together very soon, aren't we?
And I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Madam President. It's hard to follow all of you because you all have great things going on in your region. I will add that I was one of the lucky people being an affiliate of Oregon to attend the Region 10 rally, and Susan and her team did an outstanding job. When you all see me at the strategy session in October, our region rally is the next week. So my hair will be on fire. I will just warn you. But that is in Las Vegas. We have such an amazing region rally planning committee. We had an almost 3-hour call the other night, just covering all the details. So it's a great group. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're lucky to have Bill Hamblin joining us for that. And of course, all of you are welcome. Las Vegas in late October is really beautiful. So keep that in mind. The other thing to keep in mind is Region 12 is the sponsor for a national event rally in 2028. I know that seems like a long way away, but it's the Olympics. Los Angeles, as we all know, is hosting the Olympics. Susan is also part of that committee. Millie and Lori talked it up to the Airstream dealers at the recent dealer meeting. We have people coming all over the United States, and registration will open this fall. So be on the lookout. That will be a big rally. Andrea Lloyd is the host for it, a former gold medal winner. This woman is fantastic. So a great rally is being planned, but be on the lookout for that. They only happen every 4 years, and probably not in my lifetime that I'll be back in California. So come join us and have a great time. And with that, I will sign off from Region 12. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Sean. Just a clarification question. For a person to go to that rally, they don't necessarily have to have obtained tickets for an Olympic event, because I know those are going to be hard to get. They could still go be in the environment and enjoy all the hoopla and stuff, right?
Oh, you are so correct. And thank you for asking that question. Most people will not have a ticket. Tickets opened up a couple of months ago and they are ridiculously expensive. So Andrea's vision, and of course being attending Olympics in the past, she wants to build an Olympics village. So we will have large screen TVs all throughout, large tents, so that we can all participate, because most people, other than Susan McVie, don't have tickets to the Olympics. So, yes, you're absolutely correct. Anyone can go. We have a caravan committee being led up by Teresa Ty. And we already have people from Florida, East Coast, that have expressed an interest that will be caravanning to the Olympics committee. So be on the lookout. This is super exciting, and it will be one of those truly once in a lifetime type experiences.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thanks for all. I know there's a lot of work going into all of your regions, all of your rallies, all of the events that you're throwing. You're an incredible crew, and I know it ain't easy. Believe me, I do. Does any of the EC members have anything else, or are we going to wrap it up? I think we're good.
I just real quick, I'll be in touch
Lori?
about the email. I'll be in touch about the emails and stuff. I'll get my team on board and we'll be reaching out to everybody.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, I think the next time I will see you all will be in Minot, or most of you will be in Minot. We'll have lots of fun there. I wish you all very, very safe travels. Be careful out there, and thank you for your service. Have a good day.
Bye, guys.
you.
Bye.
Good to see you all.
Goodbye, everybody.